These are the important questions.
I haven't put my cat in my butt.
Well, that's...
Yet.
Oh.
I had the perfect cup of yogurt tonight. It was so good.
What was it?
Well, it's just that Oikos, like, well, Dustin, Oikos vanilla flavored yogurt. No, it's just a little cup of yogurt. And most of the time you open those, they're watery and you got to mix them around.
Yeah.
And like I picked this one up and I opened it and it was just like pristine.
Perfectly mixed.
Perfect texture.
Yeah.
I took a little, like a thin, when you open like one of those vanilla cups of ice cream, like those little single serve ones, and you kind of scrape along the top edge. Not too deep, you're not digging yet. You're just kind of scraping.
Yep, that's
just
right.
A smooth scrape, commercial ready scrape.
Nice.
And I just started eating it, and it was the most satisfying cup of yogurt I've ever had.
Nice.
At least in recent memory.
Dude, I love yogurt. I don't eat it enough.
Yeah.
Like, but it's so good.
Yeah. Well, I've been eating a ton of it now.
The thing I feel about it is like, it's never quite as filling as I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it's, the Greek yogurt that's packed with protein.
Yeah.
It's just never quite, I always feel like I need some fruit on the side or granola or something, like just yogurt itself.
With an apple normally.
Yeah. There you go. So it's like, usually what I do is like some granola and like blueberries or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, at that point, it's like, this is a breakfast.
Yes.
But otherwise it just feels like, I'm just not eating much. It's
a really good before bed snack. If you're a little peckish before bedtime and you're like,
sure.
I don't want to load myself up too much, just a little cup of yogurt.
Sure.
It's perfect. And if you enjoy it the right way, it's kind of like having a little bit of ice cream before bed.
Yeah, totally.
But not having ice cream before bed.
Right.
Yeah.
I took my son to Fro-Yo place for the first time, like not too long ago. Like, he's not, for whatever reason, he loves popsicles, but he's not big on like ice cream. So we don't generally go to ice cream.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, let's try Fro-Yo. So like I was looking for something to do, just me and him. So I took him, and he was just so enamored with the idea of like putting toppings on it that he still didn't eat the yogurt. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. So I ate the yogurt and I was like, this is really good. I don't have frozen yogurt enough either.
Yeah.
But
you could just go to one of those places and just get a cup and it's just full of gummy bears and chocolate chips and that's it. You don't.
Yeah, pretty much. But at that
yogurt.
point, like, because here's the thing. All right, we got a cup. It was like a little bit of Fro-Yo, not a lot, just a little bit of yogurt, and then mostly like gummy bears and gummy worms and that kind of stuff. And he loved it, but it was like $5, and I'm like, I could go to like Five Below or whatever. I don't know if you have Five Below, but like we go to like a Five Below, you get like a big bag of gummy bears or gummy worms for like $3. And it'll last them a lot longer.
Yeah.
But it's the experience. It's the experience of it.
Well, you want him to try to have some yogurt.
Yeah, it's like, have some yogurt, dude. Yeah. But he really just does not like, I don't know if it's like a temperature or texture or what it is, but like frozen yogurt and ice cream, he's just not big on it. Well,
like all things, he'll just boomerang in his 20s and he'll eat too much of it. So
yeah, right. I tried to get him into so two of my favorite ice cream flavors are cherry, like cherry vanilla, and then mint chocolate chip. And he liked both of them, but like he would have just like a very small amount and be like, I'm done. And I'm like, okay, I'll have the rest.
Hey.
And so I just end up having two helpings of ice cream. It's not a bad thing.
That's why you're so obese, Dustin.
I know. That's why I'm so gigantic.
That's not a couch you're sitting on. That's just the rest of you.
That's me.
you're like Pearl and Blade.
That's right.
He's here. Mr. Frost, he's here.
Did you ever see The Whale? That's based on me.
Oh. The well done.
I never even saw The Whale, honestly.
Well, The Whale is I like The Whale.
I think I would love it, but
it's got one of those super emotional endings. You're not going to be ready.
Sure.
It's you know what? I demand it, Dustin. Watch The Whale.
I know it's an emotional movie, which is part of why I've waited as long as I have. But you run
from all your problems.
That's exactly right. I don't want to have emotions.
Pack the tissues.
If I'm gonna experience emotions in a Sadie Sink movie, it's gonna be Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Hey, there it is.
Hey.
All right. Spider-Man Brand New Day is our film tonight, this week. Whatever your perception of time is. Okay.
What is happening to me?
Did you miss me, Spidey? I'm losing my mind. I am totally out of control. I gotta fix whatever this is right now.
Final semester MIT.
Dad, who do you think is actually watching these?
Maybe someone.
Okay, well, bye, someone.
What the?
Dr. Banner, you found a way to suppress mutating DNA, right?
If you see me with this stuff, run.
So could you get rid of the bad aspects but keep the good?
How would you decide what parts of nature are good or bad?
Well, sorry about that.
You're not one of my students, are you?
It appears we're faced with a threat we can't control. One we can't even see. You're the only one who's immune to it. You're the only one who can sense it.
And what do you think they're looking for?
Oh, see, you stumbled across my board. I'm not one of those weirdos, I swear.
He's a little weird. I'm MJ.
You two don't know each other?
Yo, Spider-Man, you okay? Did you get rid of that monster inside you?
Think I might go see how MJ's doing.
You're not gonna get away with this.
But he might.
I didn't know you could get that big.
Hey!
But you're in danger. You just have to trust me.
Fine.
This whole thing can get really scary.
Who the hell is that?
Who the hell are you?
Frank, please. I don't have anywhere else to go.
By the people who love you.
Just gonna let him go by himself?
Love you because you're you.
If you're gonna do something, you better do it now.
Never forget that. No matter how powerful you become.
I miss you, May.
This is the new Marvel film, or Sony, whatever. I don't even know which number this is in the thing, 30-something. But yeah, this is the new one in theaters. It's slamming records. Yeah, it's already made $1 billion, and it's only it's only Tuesday, so it's it's doing well.
It's nuts.
Yeah, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who previously directed Shang-Chi. And this is the first one not directed by John Watts. He did the previous 3, written by Chris McKinnon and Eric Summers, who I believe wrote all of them, starring Tom Holland, Zendaya. We've got Sadie Sink in an undisclosed role, and so we're not going to mention her till spoilers, everybody.
Yeah,
she's in the movie. If you want to find out why, go see it or spoil yourself. I'm not your dad. We've also got Jacob Batalon, John Bernthal's in this movie, Trammell Tillman, Florence Pugh makes an appearance, and Mark Ruffalo. And those are the only other people who have been in trailers. So
yeah,
I will not spoil anything else.
Was Florence Pugh in a trailer? I never watched any of the trailers.
No, she wasn't. God damn it.
Well, just bleep it out.
She's here. Yeah. This is the 4th Tom Holland Spider-Man film, not the 4th appearance as Spider-Man. Geez, it was like his 9th appearance.
Yeah, he's
3
been in a
Spider-Man
bunch.
movies, 2 Avengers movies, the Civil War. 8? Something. Yeah. Tom Holland has been Spider-Man for, guess what, guys? 10 years.
Yep. It's been a hot minute.
This 30-year-old dude, how old is this guy? Yeah, 30.
Yeah, I think he's 30.
This 30-year-old guy has been Spider-Man for 10 years. Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy.
So this, in this Spider-Man movie, if you have spoilers for all the other ones, obviously, God, what are you doing?
Yeah, you know what? Full spoilers for all the MCU movies up to this point.
Yes. So in this movie, Peter Parker lives in a world where nobody knows he is Spider-Man. All of his loved ones have had their memories wiped of his existence. He is truly on his own for the first time. And I'm guessing it's been pretty much 4 years since the last movie because, I mean, Ned and MJ have kind of gone all the way through MIT. It's also been, I think, 4 or 5 years since the last movie was even released. So that's cool. So, which I like. I like a good time jump. I don't like these. I don't all the time like, hey, it's going to be 6 months later. It's going to be like in the case of the second, third Holland movies are just right after each other. It's like, give the guy some time to mature and grow.
That's right.
So Spider-Man has been around for 4 years in New York City. Doing the thing, just being Spider-Man. Conveniently, we never mentioned how he earns a living. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
That was a weird little gap where I was like, I would like to see one DoorDash delivery just to show
something.
He has some kind of job.
But
he also lives in an asbestos infested attic. So maybe he truly is just a vagrant who has somewhere to squat.
That's right.
But yeah, he's just doing the thing. But obviously he's super lonely. All of his relationships are through work. He is he's way too into his job. Even the police chief is like, God, man, get a life. Stuff starts happening. The plot starts happening. We'll talk more about that. There's a mysterious force emerging that is essentially something that can possess people. Is like the weird thing of the day. And on top of that, Peter Parker is experiencing we'll just call it a mutation. Jesus, it's a mutation in his arachnid DNA. His DNA is mutating. It's becoming overwhelming, and it's changing his powers and kind of his temperament a little bit, and he is dealing with that. So that's really and I guess all the time he is torturing himself by continuing to keep up with Ned and MJ, his two best friends, his lover in the case of MJ, maybe Ned, don't know. And they are, he is stalking them on social media and, even bringing himself to attend housewarming parties with them, because he's that lonely and it really, really sucks to be Spider-Man sometimes. So yeah, that's the plot of the movie. We'll talk about specifics and spoilers. Dustin, how did you enjoy this movie?
So I saw this a few days early. Thank you, Amazon, for Prime members. They did an early screening. It's the same thing they did for the James Gunn Superman movie. I saw that a few days early for the same reason. And I don't know why they're doing that, but I dig it. So it was a packed theater, and which is crazy because, again, that feels like a niche screening. Oh, dude. But it was like the biggest theater in the multiplex, and it was packed. Like people, I saw one dude coming up the stairs with his like newborn baby.
Oh my God.
I was like, good Lord, go home. Spidey's important, but not that important.
Come on.
But yeah, man,
we could do a whole episode on what I think of that, at least.
Yep. But the baby was quiet as, like, I'll get out. Like, it
good etiquette nothing. On that baby.
Yeah, the baby was like, "Oh, I see. This would be a problem if I spoke here. I'm not going to do it."
Yeah,
it's like, the baby was just into the movie.
I'm cool. I've been read in.
The baby's like, John Bernthal's back as the Punisher.
Yeah, I'm in. Baby's super fucking chill.
Yeah, he loves the Punisher.
Chill baby.
It was a packed screening, and lots of enthusiasm in the crowd, which is always fun. Mm-hmm. Not too much. I'm like too much enthusiasm, and you lose me. There's like a very thin line where it's like, cool, we're all in this. This is great, and then like just a little bit more, and I'm gonna be like, I'm done. This is stupid. Everybody just shut up. Yeah. That's how I saw the Stranger Things series finale in the same theater, and that one was a little bit like that. I was like, oh, come on, guys, stop! I can't even hear the dialogue because you're screaming. But yeah, it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great. How did I like the film? I really enjoyed the film a lot. I do think now, I think it deserves a rewatch. So, but I would say right now, what is my out of the theater reaction is I like this better than the 3 home movies.
Yeah.
And I'm the weird guy that likes Far From Home the best of that trilogy. But I enjoyed this for a lot of what it did right. it isn't perfect. There's still some things that I wish this version of Peter could have and could do that I just feel like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
The idea of like working for the Bugle or being a photographer or, like having any sort of semblance of care for Uncle Ben, like I think all of that, it's just too far gone. I don't think we can ever get back to any of that. But I really enjoy this film for what it does right. And in terms of a film, like not just an adaptation of Spider-Man, I also think it has some really effective moments, some really good cinematography. The score is really good, and the performances are great. Like Tom Holland is in darn near every frame of this film.
Yeah.
And or his voice is. And but I think most of the time he's under that suit, it's him.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I think you can tell by mannerisms and the way he's holding himself, and like he's making the acting choices. It's not somebody for him. It's not like Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian where it could be anybody under that.
Yeah.
But like Spider-Man, like you as an actor in that costume are making physical choices all the time.
Yeah.
And like the Mandalorian, you're just walking. And so I do think it's Tom Holland, and he's locked in, like he just is Peter Parker at this point.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because we just watched and reviewed The Odyssey, seeing him in that versus this, he's so much more in his element here.
Yes.
And that's not to knock his performance in The Odyssey, but this is his role. Like he was born to play Peter Parker.
Yeah. He's one of those few MCU actors who feels like perfectly cast at this point, perfectly enmeshed with their character, like Tony Stark, or I would argue Ms. Marvel. I think Iman Vellani is that role. And there's I mean, like I love Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, but like I don't think like he feels like Bruce Banner. You know what I mean? Like necessarily.
No, I don't. Yeah.
He just feels like this take on Bruce Banner.
That's right.
But there's a few actors who really feel meshed with that. I would probably argue Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
I would say I would add,
and even Chris Evans,
Hemsworth and Evans.
Steve Rogers.
I think they're all really, really on point in terms of casting, and I would agree. I think that. Obviously like Zendaya, Jacob Batalon, like these are returning cast members. Their chemistry is all great. Like that's all to be expected. And they do really well with the parts they were given in this film. They feel a little different. They're utilized differently in this movie. And then, if we're going to talk about like, we got to talk about John Bernthal as the Punisher, who I assumed would be in like a scene of this movie. And he's all over this film.
Yeah.
And he does a really great job to me as somebody who's never seen the Punisher series or the one shot. Like all I saw was this, and I thought it was really effective. His chemistry with Peter is believable. And after all, Punisher did start in a Spider-Man comic. So it like makes sense that these are paired up. And I really enjoyed their banter, and they've got great chemistry. Again, you see that in The Odyssey, you see that behind the scenes, like they're good friends. And so that carries over here. Beyond that, like Sadie Sink does a really great job with her role, and everybody's like just locked in. I enjoyed the performances here, and the direction is a standout because it's such a big departure visually from everything that John Watts did with the Home trilogy, which I'm not a hater of those movies.
No,
I think they're fun. I think they're good. And so I understand that some people have issues with like the CG costumes or, the flat lighting and like all of that, like whatever.
Yeah.
This feels very different. Like that costume is real and, the lighting is very intense. But I think it fits this particular story.
Yeah.
And those particular stories stories are more of like a John Hughes kind of knockoff. And so it can get away with that flat lighting. Yeah. So I'm not knocking that, but I'm saying this is very different and I enjoyed it. So all things considered, I thought this was a good movie. I enjoyed it as a Spider-Man adaptation, though it is a departure from some of the things I want from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just really think like this is probably the closest we've gotten to the comics Spider-Man appearing on the big screen. Now, everyone that knows me is going to ask, but did you surpass Tobey Maguire in terms of your favorite Spider-Man? The answer is probably still no. But there's so much nostalgia wrapped up with Tobey, and there's also beyond the nostalgia, an earnestness and like a sincerity and the seriousness, like the sense of drama and heaviness that Tobey brought to that role, that Tom is doing something very different. So I like them both for different reasons. Mm-hmm. So it's really not about one surpassing the other. And I know everyone always wants to make this a competition. Who's the best Spidey? Who's the best Peter? I don't care. Like they're all giving very different performances of the same character. And so I can't really compare them in that way. But I say that to say, if you've been on the fence about Tom Holland as Spider-Man for any reason, I think this is going to win you over. Like this is Spider-Man. And yes, it's missing some hallmarks of Peter and of Spidey, but it is Spider-Man through and through. And I think like I can almost sense the glee that Stan Lee would have in seeing this film.
Yeah.
So it feels like the most Marvel a Spider-Man movie has ever been. So all in all, I really enjoyed it. Where does it rank on my MCU list? Toward the top. I really enjoyed this a lot. So that's where I'm at with Brand New Day. We can talk spoilers in a bit, but I'm curious what you thought, Hooper, because I texted you when I got out of the theater and you asked me a couple questions, but I told you I really thought you would like it, and I'm curious if I was right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, real quickly, I'll say, like, I don't think we're going to get Peter Parker at the Bugle in the MCU at this point, because of just how this film ends. This would have been the time to have had him at the Bugle. During those 4 years, he's a photographer, and they just don't centerpiece it because of, I guess, because they figured now we got to give J. Jonah Jameson screen time, like, and in this universe, he's like a podcaster, so there is no Daily Bugle. So I think maybe in their eyes, they were just like, we kind of already nixed that possibility, and everyone's seen it, so whatever. I saw it I saw it on the Friday night, and my theater was packed. We got to the AMC, and of course they got the reserved seats, except for the one over the bay. For some reason they don't have it, and like, we're an AMC Classic. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, you just Classic lost my money. So we go there. Paula got one of the popcorn buckets.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And now has like flowers in it. Like there's flowers growing out of Spider-Man's head. But we were about to go in, and I could not, the AMC email that had my like confirmation on it, like disappeared from my inbox. I was like, oh my God. And I couldn't find it. And thankfully they were able just to look me up. But that was scary. So screenshot your confirmation number, everybody. Cause we already bought food. And I was like, if we can't see this movie, I'm just going to go outside and blow myself up.
Scream into the ether.
Scream into the popcorn bucket. I just open his head.
Yes. I want Spider-Man.
I want Odysseus. And so we go in there, and of course the theater's packed and everything. And so we're like 10 minutes into the movie, and they pause it. And I thought something was wrong with the projection. I was like, oh my God. And I had like a trauma flashback to when I saw Ang Lee's Hulk. Just that I didn't enjoy it. No, I'm just kidding. To when the people shot off fireworks in the theater, and then they came in, turned the lights on, and said they weren't going to play the movie until someone confessed.
Do you remember when we saw Thor? They had to restart the film. Yeah.
Yes. Well, it was out of sync. No problems with it. They came in with the police and 7 employees, and they said, people are taking other people's seats. And so get your ticket out. It was like I was like on the Orient Express. I was like, everyone get your ticket. Indiana Jones, like no ticket. And they're walking around. I was like, okay, well, I've actually got physical tickets here because the guy at the front desk gave them to me. So I was like, okay, here you go, guys. Yeah. And then they were arguing down the front with somebody, and the cop, his head was kind of moving a lot, like he was pissed off. And all I heard him say was like, why don't you just leave? Just leave. Just get out of here. Just stop. Just leave. And the people left, and they're like, thank you, everybody. And the whole theater clapped.
Yeah.
And so it was super awkward. And then they walked out and they play it, and he's like, woo, swinging again. And I was like, wow, that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I honestly, I wasn't sure what they were going to say. If I didn't live in Alabama, I would have thought they were going to say, just sorry, folks, we've got a very special visitor. Tom Holland is here.
Tom Holland.
Yeah. So that was an experience.
We have a very special visitor here. Ice.
The police. Yeah, that's right.
It's not a funny joke. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, but you're right. I mean, I was sincerely like, well, the cops are here and they've stopped the movie. I'm not sure what's going on. Right. So yeah, as far as how I liked this movie, I really enjoyed it. It might be my favorite Marvel movie they've done since Endgame.
Yeah.
I think I liked it more than Guardians 3. I certainly liked it more than most of what they've kind of been putting out. You know, most of it's been kind of just okay, or, oh, this is better. And it's just, you know, gradually improving, but this is one that feels like, oh, this is stuff they would have put out like in the late 2020s. Like this is, or the 2010s. I can't remember the years anymore. I'm so old. I think I told you guys that it's a very New York movie.
Yeah, it is.
And one of the things you've always said with the Tom Holland movies is just like, this was cool. I just really want to see Spider-Man in New York.
Yeah.
And at the end of Far From Home, he's in New York. And he's in New York from No Way Home, but he's not doing much in New York.
New York is a character in the Spider-Man story, in the way that Gotham is a part of Batman or Metropolis Superman or whatever. Like New York is part of Spider-Man, and take it away, and it's still Spider-Man.
Yeah,
like I said, I love Far From Home.
Tying a hand behind your back,
but it's exactly. It feels like you're missing a big character.
Yeah, and this one felt extremely New York. There's a lot more like on the ground stuff happening. I mean, the whole movie, it just feels a lot more like practical and earthy than a lot of Marvel movies these days do. And especially with a character like the city of New York, I mean, down to the credit sequence, you know, it's just very like we're getting some New York flavor in here. There's just a lot more like there's Peter going to this bodega a lot and, you know, interacting with New Yorkers
to not buy Bureau,
interacting with the citizens a lot, things like that just give the movie a little bit of flavor, a little bit more lived in. And of course you got a character like the Punisher, and just the nature of their bickering was very much two New Yorkers arguing, which I just grinning ear to ear watching them. I agree. I think I'll talk more about the Punisher in a little bit, but I thought it was very New York. I thought it was really interesting that they managed to mix so many characters from other movies in here without feeling too much like they're setting up other things.
Sure.
And we can talk more in detail about that late in spoilers, but like sometimes that's crowbarred. And but sometimes when you avoid that, people wonder, well, where is such and such person? This is New York. Like this is one of those cities where there's a lot of Marvel characters nearby. Like at this point, and because of when this takes place and the things that are happening, like there would be some people. And so like they gave us, I think, just the right amount of people to where he doesn't really have that much help. But it's not like a weird elephant in the room, you know? Yeah. I think Tom Holland gave his best performance as Peter Parker in this movie. You know, and we've got that true like Spider-Man storyline. Like that's another criticism that one could have of the Holland movies is like, he's never really been the Peter Parker we know because he's always had so much support. He's either had a wealthy benefactor in Tony Stark, or he's had his friends, you know, in ways that other Peter Parker screen adaptations have not. You know, and we finally take that all away at the end of the last movie. And so now we've got this and he truly is alone. And so we do feel a lot more of that just isolation that kind of defines Spider-Man's, you know, sadness and kind of is like the big emotional obstacle that he's always having to deal with and still somehow carry on and do what he does for the city of New York. And it's just a big part of his character and a big part of, one of the big things of this movie, which is like maturity and stepping into adulthood. I have a lot of other thoughts that are kind of reserved for spoilers. I would say that if you're listening to this part of the show, then I certainly recommend see it, and not like in a way of like it's homework. This isn't homework. This is enjoyable. This is standalone. If you're going back and rewatching movies 2 years from now, 5 years from now, just to kind of to go through things, like once you've seen everything, you're going to do like a second sweep, and you're going to skip the ones that you don't enjoy because you know the information required to extract from them, and you're going to go back and play the greatest hits. And this is going to be on that list of Marvel Studios' greatest hits will be.
Yeah, we talk about like what are like vegetable movies, like the things that you just need to see. This is definitely like a fried chicken movie,
meal, baby.
Yeah, it's like this is good stuff, right? This is a comfort food. Yeah.
Oh, it's good. And in the way that like No Way Home is really fun. Like as far as like those movies go, like Homecoming is fine. Far From Home is a cool step up. It's a very Spider-Man storyline that and Homecoming does it well. Like the villain is really interestingly written, has a connection to Peter, and No Way Home is really fun, but it's not immune from being accused of being very corporate fan service.
Yeah.
It's hard to ignore the corporate synergy and the fan service aspects of that movie, even if you enjoy it and you like it. It still is. It's not immune from that, and this doesn't feel that way. I didn't feel the heavy hand of Sony making weird, shitty decisions in this one, and I've sort of felt that here and there with those other ones to an extent. And this one, like I just forgot about Sony while watching this.
Yep.
And I agree. Like, from the early days of when this started shooting, like Tom Holland was like putting out, they were giving him stuff to put on social media. And it was like, look at this awesome web swinging rig we made. And we're watching like a stuntman or Tom Holland, whatever. We're watching someone in a Spider-Man suit swinging through the streets of New York on wires.
It looks great.
And it was really great. And they did some of that in The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, but then they were like, no, we're not doing that anymore. And they stopped doing it. Yeah. And while there's a whole lot computers can do, there's a lot of cool shots from all the Spider-Man movies of Spidey swinging around in CG, and it looks really cool, and it would be clearly impossible to do practically. That's right. But they did a really good job giving us that. And like you said, putting Tom Holland in a real suit, not keying, a suit onto him, and all this extra stuff just to have him standing still. Like you can see it in that promotional stuff and on those early days of shooting. Tom Holland's in a suit, and it's the same suit we're looking at in the movie. It doesn't have an extra logo that they couldn't show you at the time, superimposed on it in post. Like it's that suit. Like wardrobe took the time to make a cool suit that fits him. And
I think the best live action suit we've ever had.
Oh yeah. It looks very classic without looking like, too much like the other ones. Yeah. Like it looks really good. Yeah. So that's all just really satisfying. It looks right and it feels right. And just from like a businessy machinery type of perspective, it's just like clearly they made a great choice moving on to Destin Daniel Cretton. And I can't remember why John Watts didn't do this. I don't know if it was some combination of he wasn't interested, and then they were like, that's cool. And neither are we. Me too. Yeah, I don't want to go either.
It's all good.
But they made a good, I always thought it was interesting that they got Destin Daniel Cretton to do this, because it's weird to see a director helm two different Marvel characters. I can't think of another time that the MCU has done that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And so it's just like, oh yeah, like if they make more of these, I want him doing it. There's not much more we can say, I guess, without going into spoilers.
Yeah. Let's jump in.
Yeah, let's jump in, and I'll bridge the gap with something that's less spoilery real quick.
Okay.
I'll just talk about the Punisher, and then we can truly get into it. Yeah, I've seen John Barenthal as the Punisher. I never watched his solo show. But that's the thing is, most people going to this movie probably haven't seen him in other things.
Yeah.
Because I think most normal people just aren't watching the TV shows.
Yeah.
The most likely would have been the Netflix show, the Daredevil show.
Yeah.
Where in the second season, Frank Castle is basically the villain. And so that's where we meet John Barenthal as Frank Castle, and he's so good. I like that Netflix show. Aside from the tie-ins to the Defenders, which you can kind of just ignore, or watch a quick recap. Like those 3 seasons are really good. And so when they bring back Daredevil Born Again, Frank Castle does show up again as John Barenthal. And at this point, he's been in a season of television and 2 seasons of his own show. And so he's back and he's great. And I think the handling of him from Netflix and from Disney has been really great, and probably, the most true to that character that's ever been put to screen. Just very sad, very traumatized, but you just a live wire, a wise ass, just really a brutal killer, and with a touch, just enough sort of sadness to keep him kind of grounded emotionally. And so when I saw him in the trailer for this, I was like, oh, it's cool. The Punisher's in here. It's a little odd. I would have expected maybe Daredevil. I didn't realize they're going to use him so much, but he has a lot of screen time, not just like a few extended scenes. Like, he's a character in this movie.
That's right.
And I was a little worried at a certain point. Not really, because by the time I realized that how large his role was, I was already bought in. But it's like, it is one of those things, like, how are you going to take a character like the Punisher who swears like he does and he uses so much, how are you going to mix him with a character like Spider-Man? And the answer is like this, really well.
The answer is just do it.
This is a micro observation, but the level of like profanity and violence in these movies has steadily and unnoticeably creeped up over the past 20 years.
Sure.
Because that's these characters, and Marvel has enough of a track record to where they're like, we're not going to lose the audience by giving people some filthy language to say, while keeping our PG-13 rating. And the Punisher feels like himself. He doesn't feel it'd be harder lift for Deadpool, obviously, but like, it's not a heavy lift to use the Punisher the way they did here, without sanitizing him, without making him feel like somebody he is not. He comes off as this really like, emotionally distant, but well-intentioned uncle of Peter Parker. He's just a guy who is around because these are 2 vigilantes in New York. He's probably met Daredevil. Who knows? I don't know. It's not addressed, but these people know each other enough to where when Spider-Man needs help, he goes to Frank and he's like, I truly have nowhere else to go. And something tells me that you're a good enough person where you're going to want to help me. And all of their scenes are really great. He actually serves the story. He's a voice of reason for Spider-Man. And I just love their bickering. I just love like Peter saying something like, no, because they're going to remember me. And he's just like, bullshit.
It's right.
It's not just him arguing. It's him going,
Yes, right. Yeah, exactly.
It's so good.
I'm glad you brought this up, because one of the main takeaways for me was the use of the Marvel universe in the film. But really quickly, to your point, in terms of tone and like merging 2 characters with drastically different tones. Obviously the tone for Spider-Man and the tone for Punisher are very different. But the comics have successfully over the years brought those 2 characters together, and it's been fine. And so everyone always says the same thing about like everything. Like, well, how do you do the Batman and the Superman together? And it's like, you just do it. And like, it's fine. The audience is smart. They'll understand, and it's fine. And like, you even mentioned Deadpool. I think it'd be super easy with Deadpool, because all you have to do is have him turn to the camera and go, hey, just imagine that I'm saying a lot of F words. I'm about to.
Yeah, that's true. 1 minute joke. Like I said,
it wouldn't matter.
I made this joke many years ago, but just bleep Deadpool.
Yeah.
Just bleep him.
Literally, here's what you do. You have him turn to the camera and go, and if you'd like to see the uncensored version, buy it on 4K Blu-ray. And he holds up the steelbook. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And then it's a special feature on the Blu-ray, and great. Everyone's happy.
You can watch the Deadpool cut of Spider-Man.
Exactly. And that's how you do it. But like,
move some units.
Exactly. Physical media is not dead, baby.
Yay.
But they do a really good job of incorporating him into this world without sacrificing who he is. And to that end, like you mentioned that it brought like a huge smile to your face to see Punisher in this. I would say weirdly, I didn't expect this reaction, but to me, the thing that made me uncontrollably like giddy and super smiley was the Hulk. I knew the Hulk was in this.
Yeah.
And obviously you introduce Banner and like, you know you're going to see the Hulk at some point. It's a Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's Hulk.
Chekhov's Hulk. But he when he shows up and he's like losing control, I got so excited.
Yeah.
I was like, I have not seen the Savage Hulk in since Infinity War.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
which was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm so ready for this.
It's crazy.
And so I'm like, yes. And as soon as he like, actually transforms into Savage Hulk and stands in front of Spidey and he's super tall. And I'm like, yes, this is Hulk. And that whole fight scene, I was so happy because I was like, this is great. Punisher's there. Like the whole, like it's so
excellent.
good.
There's a really cool shot. There's that. I mean, I guess if you're in spoilers at this point, hopefully you've seen the movie. There's that really cool shot where like it's actually a cool moment because Punisher shows up. Spider's like, "What are you doing here, Frank?" He's like, "I'm here to help you," and she told me I had to help you. And she's like, "Hey, we're not fucking around, buddy. This is the Hulk." And right after he says that, he starts charging, and Frank just goes, "Oh shit."
Yes. and I love the moment where Spidey like thwips him and pulls him, and as he's being pulled, he's just firing,
screaming and firing at a machine gun at the Hulk.
This isn't gonna do a thing.
It's amazing. It's the most
so good.
The three of them are in their element. Hulk's doing his thing. Spider-Man's trying to save Frank, and Frank is just wailing on him with an AR-15.
Yes.
It's in slow motion. He's just going,
but this is the thing. Like
I've always said,
I've always said Spider-Man works best in film. Spider-Man will always work best when he is divorced from the Marvel world, when it's just Spider-Man. And I think I disagree with myself now. Like I love solo Spidey. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, part of the appeal of Spidey is that like as Peter, sure, he has Mary Jane and he has Gwen and he has Harry and like whatever, he's got friends. But once he puts that mask on, it's just him. Yeah. He has no one else to rely on. Yeah. And like, there's something really cool about that. Yeah. However, what the MCU offers is, and we're in spoilers now, so I'm about to throw out a name. If you had told me that there's a fight scene that includes Spider-Man, Hulk, Punisher, and Jean Grey in one sequence, I would say you're kidding.
Yeah. You lying.
Like even 10 years ago, like in Infinity War, I would have been like, are the X-Men too? Like they're all here? Punisher? Like that's weird. Like a TV dude and an X-Men and the Hulk and like that's crazy. And so like the fact that it can do that.
The X-Men, aren't they owned by Fox?
Yeah, exactly. How did they legally like?
What happened?
Is it
like a profit share thing?
Did you mean Green Jay? Like a legally distinct yet very similar character?
Green Jay?
Green Jay? But like,
it's just one of those X-Men who's just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Jay. I'm green." that's all I really do. I'm just here.
I'm Green Jay. It's stoned. Hey, a Green Jay.
Yeah, they call me Green Jay because I got the green.
I got the green, and I got a green, and it's a J.
And I'm smoking a J.
Smoking a J with my man Hulk. Hulk was real mad. Now he's real chill.
I call this one the Savage Hulk because it's super big. I'm about to get savage blitzed.
Yes. Oh man. The way they incorporated the wider Marvel world and like Florence Pugh to a lesser extent, like Yelena is just kind of there. I don't think she's that like central to the plot, but no, I'll include it. It's fine.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like that could have been anybody, but it would have been weirder for them to just write a new character for that specific thing.
Sure.
And so at that point, you're at a crossroads. Like, do we actively avoid some stunt casting here, or do we just say this makes sense and it's fine?
Yeah.
And like, I think as long as you're I don't know if there's like a business reason they never want to do that, but that was one of those things that Ike Perlmutter would have never let happen. Like,
yeah, totally.
There's no way we're gonna pay Florence Pugh, a woman, to come in for one day, for 1 or 2 days in a spa. I mean, I imagine that took her like about a day or two to film.
Yeah.
It's not a heavy lift.
I was really hoping that Miles Morales would make an appearance in this film.
Sure, and I'm sure he will. At some point.
I think it would have been really cool if instead of Yelena, if he had gone to Donald Glover's Prowler and been like, I need you to hack into something for me. It's illegal. That would have been interesting. You know, like, but I need something done and I know you'll do it and you won't think twice about it or whatever. Like, sure, maybe whatever, but like part of what I do miss is like building out Spidey's world. Like, it's cool that we have the wider Marvel world too, but like I also want you to build out his world. So show me the Bugle or show me, you know, like these things that like build out his world.
I imagine some of that is just hesitancy on the business people's end of things to commit to too many movies with Sony in case Sony gets cute and decides to pretend they're going to end the partnership again.
That's right. But like, yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's, I enjoyed the wider Marvel world. I do wish there was a little more of like Peter in here. And like looking back on it, because you mentioned No Way Home a minute ago. No Way Home to me, like the biggest mistake of No Way Home was the multiversal angle to it. I understand it. And I think it was very cool to see Toby and Andrew back, and I wouldn't trade that. But I think what I would have traded was all the villains. And again, it's cool to see them, but I do think that what they robbed from us was a new Doc Ock and a new Norman Osborn and imagine if instead like they introduce Harry in this or they introduce but you can't, like you kind of can't now. And so part of that is like, yeah, you know, whatever, we still got the best Gabi, you know, to come back, and that's cool. But like, I don't know. I wish there was more like digging into Spider-Man's specific world. And that's why I love the stuff like toward the beginning where you see Tombstone and you see Scorpion. And it's like, this is really cool because it's fleshing out Spider-Man.
Is that Tombstone? That's his name?
Yeah.
God, okay, sorry. My son was playing the Spider-Man game the other day, and he was like, I did the mission with Time Stone. I was like, Time Stone's definitely not in this in this game. And he was like, you did it the other day. And he's showing me the thing. I was like, I recognize the mission. There's no Time Stone.
Yeah.
And he shows me the guy, and he's like, see, it just said Time Stone. I said, Limestone? He's like, maybe it's Limestone.
It's Tombstone.
Okay, it's Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Tombstone.
Oh, I feel better.
but yeah, like stuff like that. Like I love that, right? Like build out his world. Yeah, like one other thing that I wanted to bring up is like something that I really loved is like I really did love the Jean Grey element in this, and when the rumor was going around like who is Sadie Sink playing, I had narrowed it down to like two things in my head. It's either going to be Jean Grey, but I thought that would be weird because like I know X-Men is on the horizon, but like not really. So it felt like. We're really going to start with Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie. That just feels weird to me.
Sure.
So I wasn't 100% sold. Obviously, there was like another rumor that she was going to play like a future, like someone from the future, and it was going to be the daughter of MJ and Peter. And this is like Mayday Parker. Yeah. And like, cool. I could have seen that too. But like, like somebody had mocked up like AI or whatever, like. Sadie Sink in the suit and was like, it's a set image. And like, you know, it was everywhere for 3 minutes before everyone was like, oh, it's AI. But like, you know, there was a rumor and so whatever, but like using Jean Grey in this way is not something I would have thought about. I don't know if that was a studio like Feige going, we've got to do X-Men. I want Jean Grey in this, or I want an X-Men character in this.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Or if it was like genuinely like, okay, I think it'd be cool to have like someone who could take over people. And then from there, it just, who in the Marvel world could do it?
Yeah.
Right?
You never know with these, like it's probably cynically was because that movie has a director. The X-Men movie does.
Yeah.
And I have long believed that they have already cast everyone. They might even be shooting that shit right now. Who knows?
Yeah.
And they're not releasing the cast for a specific reason. One reason being, maybe this, maybe, and when this came out, they dropped one cast member's casting online.
Yeah.
And I figured, maybe we're about to get like a windfall of X-Men casting announcements. What?
You're talking about Emma Frost?
Yeah. And so I figured like, okay, maybe that's what it is. And also like the X-Men movie is kind of rumored to be, I think they have an open slot for an Untitled film next year.
Yeah.
And I think that people are saying that's probably going to be the X-Men movie.
Sure.
And if that's true, they're already on set. They might even be done shooting it by now.
Yeah. Right.
And so that cast exists and none of them are allowed to talk about it except for Sadie Sink now. And so when that trailer came out, people were quickly saying, what if it's Jean Grey? And from there, I was like, I can't really think of who else it would be. Any other thing I can think of would be lame. Sure. It would just be some other lesser known telepath for the express purpose of not using Jean Grey.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, we can't do Jean Grey, so we'll do this very far away runner-up.
Green Jay.
You're up, Green Jay. Green Jay, wake up.
What?
Get off the couch.
When did you start to feel like, okay, this is definitely Jean Grey?
I think by the time I walked in the movie, I was reasonably certain. Because the business just lined up. I was like, the X-Men movie is coming soon.
Well, so I had stayed away from everything. And like, I kind of assumed that it wouldn't be Jean Grey. And I'll tell you why. I assumed that it wouldn't because I felt like that sounded too much like a fan's pipe dream. It sounded too much like it was too good to be true. And Marvel hasn't been giving us things like that lately. And so I thought it was going to be really innocuous. Like it would end up being MJ's roommate. You know what I mean? Like it would be something that everyone would be like walking out going, oh, that's all it was. And I genuinely thought it was going to be nothing. And that they just like got it ballooned out of control. Like she was in the movie, she was going to play a fairly pivotal role, but as a nobody, basically, not somebody based on a comic or whatever. And it was just going to be nothing. And I also thought there was a good chance that she was just going to end up being like a character that had a crush on Peter or something. You know what I mean? Like just something that exists.
But the fact that her face isn't in any of the trailers.
Yeah.
And they can't release her name.
Right.
So it's just one of those things.
And I thought it was one of those things that the internet spiraled it into being more than it was. And she wasn't in the trailers because she's just not that important in the film.
Interesting.
And so that's kind of where I was. And then I started seeing the press junket and I was like, oh, they're not saying.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, okay, so there's something here, but I just don't know what. Like it's whatever. And so I just thought, again, Jean Grey was just going to be a fan's pipe dream. It wasn't going to be anything legit. But obviously, like during the film, there's a moment where Peter goes to Bruce and he's talking about like, his mutation.
Yeah.
And as soon as the word mutation was brought up, I'm like, ears are perked up. And then as soon as Bruce goes, well, now we're talking about repressing something that needs to be expressed. Who's to say what's good or what's bad?
He basically said that's a very dangerous, that could be a very dangerous thing to create something that suppresses powers. And the first thing I thought of was the X-Men. Yeah, exactly. It's a very X-Men thing. Yeah. And so like one of the things I wanted to bring up is like this exploration of two themes that the film has. Mm. The first is that exploration of like repression and like not growing, not allowing for growth. Yeah. And like obviously Peter is growing. He's essentially like learning. Like he's entered a new chapter in his life. His senses are heightened. He's got organic webs. All these things are changing. It's like a second puberty in a way. Yeah. And in that vein, like he's trying to stop his body from changing. And this is something that you
ought not do.
Yes.
Right. And so the theme being like trying to decide what's good and what's bad and repressing something that needs to be expressed, as Dr. Banner says. And I feel like that theme was relatively well explored in terms of like, you know, Peter really trying to repress the arachnid side.
Yeah.
Although it never really felt like there were any other characters on that journey with him until right at the end. But even Jean Grey already had her mind made up on that issue. Yeah. And it didn't feel much like a working through of that conflict. But then there's like the second theme that's like doing life alone doesn't work. And so it's like this isolationist kind of thing that Peter's dealing with. And unfortunately, I don't think that those two themes interact much on a thematic level. And so it tended to make the film feel like Peter was dealing with two disparate ideas, like isolation and repression, which maybe were both born out of the trauma of what happened to him, but they didn't feel as related. If the mutation was causing the isolation, then now they feel linked, but they didn't quite feel linked. So my critique of the film on the thematic level is that the two themes didn't quite gel with one another, and neither of them took precedent over the other so as to be more fleshed out. But having said that, both of those themes in and of themselves are great themes. The idea of isolation for Spider-Man, that's a brilliant idea because, again, what I just said a few moments ago was like, I love the Spider-Man who puts on the mask and then he's alone, right? But that shouldn't work. Like, it wouldn't work in real life. You have to allow people in, and you have to, you know, do life with people. This is how we're hardwired. And so the idea of like the isolationist Spider-Man should not work for long.
Kind of like the isolationist Batman.
Exactly. Like I think the same thing about Batman. Yeah. Batman works well alone. Yeah. But I think works better on a team, and people will disagree with me.
Human beings in general, aside from some dangerous outliers, some of whom are superheroes, but like in general, the human arc is that eventually you do crave community. Yes. And some kind of companionship. Even if you don't, it's good in movies to encourage that.
Yes, agreed. And I think
it would be good for movies to go, hey, fuck everybody else. Just do your own thing,
just
buddy.
do your own thing. Look out for number one, baby. That's the opposite of Spider-Man's whole thing. I missed the part where that's my problem. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the opposite of Spidey's whole thing. Yeah. In terms of the isolation idea, like, I really appreciate that they did not completely undo the ending of No Way Home, which I really did not want them to do. But I also was like, there's no way this movie can't exist without, like, this version of Peter cannot exist without MJ and Ned.
The thing is, if you're going to even include them in the movie, if MJ and Ned are truly out of the picture, they wouldn't be in this film at all.
Right. And so I really hoped that they weren't going to do a thing where, like, Peter finally works up the courage and goes to MJ or Ned or whatever and says, "Hey, I'm Peter. Do you remember me?" and kisses them, and then maybe not both of them, but kisses MJ, and she's like, "Peter, I remember you." And like, I was so like, please don't do that, because that, like we've talked before, a good sequel, yes, and the previous, it doesn't like no but it. It does not change it. It yes ands. It builds. And so
can you imagine if they had done the threesome thing and it's like, what, do you guys remember me now? And it's like, no, but that was really great.
I don't know who you are.
No.
Spider-Man.
I know I'm calling you back.
But it was a true, like, like I don't want to say fear, that's overstating it, but like a worry of mine was like, don't rewrite the ending.
Yeah.
Don't magically make them remember. That's crazy. I'm glad that they stuck to their guns, but I loved that they gave me exactly what I was worried about.
Yeah.
And it was when MJ was under mind control by Jean Grey.
Oh, so heartbreaking, man.
Like in my theater, everyone like cheered when it happened.
Yes, same thing.
When they kissed and she seems to remember him, everyone's like, yay, and claps and cheers.
Someone in my theater went like, yeah, you did it, buddy.
Yeah. And then and then as soon as she says, yeah, go ahead and touch her, Peter, or something like that. Yeah. Whatever it was, everyone went.
Everyone's like, no.
Nobody was expecting it.
No.
Yes. To me, like I always think of in Spider-Man Homecoming, the moment when you find out that Liz's dad is the Vulture was like a huge twist.
Yeah.
This was better.
Yes.
This was so much more impactful.
It was so cruel.
Because I love, like, whatever, sadist maybe, but like, I love when Peter...
Sadist sink.
Sadist sink. But I love when Peter gets what he wants and then it gets ripped away from him. Like, this is my favorite thing about Peter Parker is like, just when he thinks he can have it, when he can have what he wants, he can't.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing about Spider-Man. It is so heartbreaking to watch him have what he wanted and it just get ripped away.
There's also something, and this is a small thing to piggyback on that, but like, I do like the idea that the villain, the antagonist, knows full well what Peter is struggling with. She's the only character in the entire world who knows that Peter did genuinely used to know these people.
Yeah, correct.
And like, so he's not carrying that alone.
Yeah.
It would have been kind of weird as a viewer to be like, man, this is a lot. And also Peter feels bad. He's sad about this. The antagonist is against him. And then there's this other thing. It's like she's fully aware of what he's lost.
That's right.
And is, just hurting him.
Yeah. So heartless.
Yeah.
You also don't hate Jean Grey by the end. Like, how is that possible?
Yeah. I want to talk a lot about Jean.
I think it has to be the VMAX thing where the audience really shifts on her, or maybe the flashback sequence. I'm not sure.
I think as soon as we see, we hear Sarah.
Yeah.
And then Metzger, Mr. Milchick lies to him. And when Peter realizes he was lied to, or even that in the film language of like, hey, we'll take it from here, Spider-Man, thanks. And we're putting Sadie Sink in the back of an ambulance.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's a bit tidy for a villain. Like, even if you know nothing about Jean Grey, how she's, an X-Man and all this other stuff. Like, if you're just watching this movie and you don't know who these characters are.
Yeah.
You would look at that and say, that's a bit tidy. Did we make a mistake?
Yes.
And so by the end of that scene, you should understand that, like, no, Peter just helped damage control capture someone who shouldn't be captured.
Yeah.
Doesn't deserve what she's about to get.
And we know that inherently because we know who Jean Grey is.
Yeah.
We know she's not like
evil.
I think I'd be interested to see somebody who sees this movie who doesn't, the name Jean Grey means nothing to them.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do they roll back into, well, Jean's misunderstood or whatever?
I think once you've got her tied to a chair.
Yeah.
Totally. And Spider-Man's not in the scene.
Yeah.
Like, it's Jean Grey and the government.
Yeah.
Of whom she's a prisoner. Then it's like, oh shit.
I also think it's pretty, it's not subtle, but it's also not like overbearing. Like, Milchick is never trustworthy in this film.
No,
like from the beginning, it's too perfect or too easy.
I was telling Paula, like, I got up on my cross and I told Paula, the curse of being someone like me is that you're constantly suspicious of why people are cast in things.
Yeah, totally.
Like, why is Trammell Tillman in this movie? Is it because he normally plays a duplicitous bad guy and he just wants to play a straightforward good guy in a large movie?
Yeah.
Does he want to show his range?
Yep.
Or is it because he is known for playing a duplicitous bad guy And that's exactly why they cast him in this. And he said, a Spider-Man movie. People will see me in this.
Yeah, right.
Like you never really know until you see a film. And then you get to like actually break down like, why is Trammell Tillman in this movie? And it's because, because he's a fucking asshole who's up to no good.
That's right.
Again.
Right. Yes. I love what they did with Jean Grey in this.
Yeah.
And even more than what they do with Jean, I love what they do with Peter and what they do with the both of them together.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is like, this is going to sound harsh. I don't mean it to sound that way, but I have to make this comparison. What I think everyone on the creative team of Superman 2025 really wanted was for Superman to be a beacon of hope and for Superman to be standing for good things in a world that's hard and protecting good people from harm. I think we got a little of that, but nothing to the degree that Peter enacts here. And so to me, like Peter and Clark Kent are very similar in that they're both good people, like inherently good, honest, upstanding,
earnest.
Good, like earnest people. And people always give Clark flack and they're like, oh, he's too perfect. He's always good guy. I'm like, yeah, but you don't do that for Spidey. And you know why? Because they bother to make Spidey have to make hard decisions to be good.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of that. Here's this girl that's caused so much pain and so much hurt for everybody and currently causing it to the people of New York by freezing them in this weird catatonic state of whatever.
Yeah.
And when Peter's Spidey sense tells him that there's a bullet traveling toward her, he jumps in front of it.
Yeah.
Because he knows that there's good in her.
Yeah.
That is important. And even more than that, there's the moment that she finally enters his mind and experiences the love of Aunt May.
Yeah.
Which you, like, as an audience member, you have to think this is a memory of some moment that Peter had with May
previously. Yeah.
And so this moment she's experiencing the love of May, but she's also experiencing the love of Peter because Peter's giving her this gift.
I was going to say, like, she enters his mind, like there is something about what Peter chooses to show her, you know,
and he lets her in willingly.
Yeah.
And so to this degree, like, what's happening here is like Spider-Man is using every bit of goodness in him to like call her out of all the darkness and bitterness and hatred and anger that she feels because her mother didn't love her and because her sister was taken and because the government just wants to study her and destroy her and her kind. And he says, let me show you what love feels like. And then he jumps in front of a bullet for her.
Yep.
That's everything that you want a superhero to be and to do. And so what I was saying was harsh is like, I think this is what James Gunn and the creatives of Superman wish they had made with Superman.
Yeah.
And so it's one thing to say, he's a beacon of hope.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder said the S stands for hope.
Mm-hmm.
Show me some.
Yeah.
Show me something good that a character does at his own expense for someone that's hurting and needs something. That is altruism. That's heroism. That's Peter Pan. That's Peter Parker. That's Clark Kent. That's Spider-Man. That's Superman. Show me that. And
that's what the S stands for.
That's what the S stands for. Show. Don't tell. And that's what this film does. And so I really have to give it credit because that moment was beautiful. I think it could be more emotionally impactful had the thematic through line really, really hammered that home. But That's exactly what I want from a superhero film. We've talked about this before. I gravitate more toward the heroes that are good people.
Yeah.
I would put Batman in that category. He goes about it in a different way, but like good people that stand up for good things because that's what's right. Because with great power comes great responsibility. That's what a hero is. And so in that way, I don't think there's been a Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2 that has understood this character as thoroughly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Spider-Verse movies notwithstanding.
Sure. You're right.
Because those are great too.
Yeah.
But like this is Spider-Man.
Peter Parker. Yeah.
This is Peter Parker. And I really loved that moment and what he does for Jean. And as weird as it is that in this version of the story, the X-Men are going to look up to Peter as a mentor.
Yeah.
As weird as that is, I really love the idea that Jean's going to carry a piece of Spider-Man with her forever.
Yeah.
And I loved that Punisher was the one that fired the shot. This is beautiful writing.
Why do you love that Frank was the one that shot?
Because it shows the dichotomy between Frank and Peter. Without that moment, Frank has no character arc in this film.
Yeah.
Giving him the moment to make a mistake and shoot his shot, which is his whole thing.
Oh yeah, he almost killed the wrong person. Is what you're saying?
Regardless, he saw Jean as a threat that needed to be disposed of.
Yeah. And
Peter saw her as a hurt girl that needed saving.
Yeah.
And that shows me that Punisher and Peter, that Frank and Peter see the world very differently. And that by the end of this, Frank sees the world a little bit more like Peter.
Yeah.
And that Peter never really gives him a hard time for it.
Sure, yeah. He never does the Dr. Evil, you shot me, you a-hole.
Right. Or you tried to shoot her.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she needed somebody.
You
like
suck,
he could
Frank.
have thrown it right back in his face.
Sure.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
And so
shit happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you shoot your friends.
So I love that, but it really works for me, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the film. You know, my only real critiques of the film are the thematic through line that could have been more clear or more emotional had it been more established and like laser focused.
Yeah.
And I think some of there was some exposition that felt on the nose, and it's mostly due to his suit AI, right? Like,
sure.
We've got this handy graphic of the arachnid DNA overtaking you. It's like, I get it. You don't have to show me that.
Yeah.
Just show me the eyes. That's enough. I don't care.
We're playing to the bottom. We're playing to the back row with that one, Dustin.
Yeah, I know. And that's what I'm like. Just treat me like I'm smart, you know?
Yeah.
That
one's for the kids.
Sure. And then there's a few things like, the AI like saying things to him like, oh, that's a thing. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I know that. I'm aware. I can follow basic language of cinema.
That is one of those things where like just R-rated films made by like Denis Villeneuve or Ridley Scott, it's like, at least there's none of that. They don't, there's no kids in the audience. So there is none of that like very obvious exposition. It's just, hey, dum-dum, you either get it or you don't. Shut up.
That's right. That's right.
Shut up, pay attention.
So like that. Yeah. And like that aside, I'm like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. It doesn't take me out of it, but I do wish it had been better written, or like, honestly, you could do without a voice on that AI and without the HUD graphics of the arachnid DNA overtaking, because you have two visual representations of that, the eye and the
fact that eyes he has powers.
And you can see the amplified powers.
Yeah.
I understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Peter
There's a more
goes
subtle
from
thing later when he like basically controls it, where he flashes all the webs and then it shows him, and then the black eyes shrink to his regular eyes, and then he pulls the webs down. That sequence of shots is, oh, my eyes are normal, but I haven't lost these new powers. Now I've got it.
Yeah, it's not going to overtake me.
Yeah, and to follow your logic, if they had done that same level of exposition hand-holding in the final fight with the hand, he would have done all those things and then looked at the camera and been like, oh, I've got it now.
Yeah. Or
guys,
the
I'm
AI,
in control.
Or the AI would have said, you've now controlled your arachnid DNA.
Peter, the balance is perfect.
Congratulations. Level up.
Yeah.
But like, because like, obviously my mind as a Spider-Man enjoyer goes to like, this is not dissimilar from the symbiote. The way that works. Imagine like Spider-Man with the symbiote, and then the AI goes, like Peter does something a little bit evil, and then the AI says to the audience, don't worry, that's just your symbiote taking over. And it's like, I don't need it. I know that.
There are some people who genuinely believe like that this was that they're like, oh, it's in the text, like this is the symbiote.
No,
it isn't.
No,
it's because of the
DNA.
little bit that Tom and like reviewers that like I trust, and like it was just a really dumb take I found. Like, oh, this is I'm glad they put the symbiote in here because the Tom Hardy left behind that little bit of it at the end of No Way Home, and it's like, no, that was Sony being cute.
Yep.
Number one.
Yep.
Number two, it needs to be explicit in the text. They could make another Spider-Man movie and later justify it by using this movie as like the building block for the symbiote.
Sure.
No, it turns out those powers are just the symbiote.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Peter takes it too far like once in the movie.
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the movie, it's just, if it didn't fit well with the theme of the film, maybe I'd agree with you. But just because his eyes are black and the symbiote is black doesn't mean it's a symbiote, because the symbiote would be goo flying around and his suit would be black and it'd be a whole thing.
Correct.
And kind of to piggyback on the symbiote, it's like, I don't want to see another symbiote storyline. We've seen it once.
Yeah.
And, to me, I don't need to see the Green Goblin again because we've seen that twice.
Yeah.
So it's just like, we don't need the Osborns in this universe, because in this universe, they just don't exist. And at this point, we're never going to get them. And by the same token, I don't need the symbiote because we've never established that. And for God's sake, if you're going to make Spider-Man movies, make some new stuff, know?
Well, and that's the thing is like, it is a little bit of a double-edged sword because like, obviously we're getting new stories and that's great. But like the purist in me does go like, man, well, now you kind of can't do the symbiote because you did it here kind of
right,
and so like you didn't, but like in spirit you did, so you can't really do it. And the same thing where like, oh, you can't really do Norman, and you can't really do Doc Ock, and you can't really do Bugle, and you can't do J. Jonah Jameson, and like all of these things where you start to like count them up and go, they can't do any of this. They can't do Gwen, and they can't do, what's he gonna do, meet Gwen? At this point the audience is never going to accept a different love interest for Peter than MJ.
Yes.
So you can't do Gwen, and you can't do Harry. Like you can't do anything. And so you can't do Eddie Brock without it being tied to Tom Hardy. You can't do anything. And so like to some degree, it does, when you count it up, start to feel like, man, they're really limiting themselves here. But at the same time, we're getting new stories with new characters. Don't forget the things that we did get that were new: Vulture, Mysterio, Scorpion, Shocker.
Yeah.
Like we've gotten tons of Tombstone. This is the first live action appearance of Tombstone.
Yeah.
Like we're getting tons of new things here.
Secret Wars notwithstanding, you could totally have a movie with the Kingpin with Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I hope they do.
Yeah.
Like I would love for that here.
Yeah.
Like even in that first like opening sequence, they could have had him, like a splash frame of him punching Kingpin in the jaw.
Just real quick.
That would have been great. Or Alistair Smythe with his weird little there's so many things that we're getting that are new and cool, and I'm just not too worried about it. So whatever.
I want to talk about the future.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that Tom Holland said something like he has a plan for the future of Spider-Man, or Sony does, or something. It was kind of implied, like it seemed to give credence to the idea that like Miles Morales will probably be introduced soon. I guess everything depends on these Avengers movies, because like all the plans I think for Peter depend on Secret Wars. I don't know. He's not confirmed to be in Doomsday. Yeah. So I'm just going to assume he's not in it. Yeah. But Spider-Man is a big character in Secret Wars, and tying in with the Venom thing, his suit in Secret Wars is mostly black. I don't know if that has anything to do with the symbiote. I don't know anything about the Secret Wars storyline. I just know it's really weird, and I've tried to understand it, and I just don't understand it. That end teaser is implying Secret Wars with Peter somewhere not on Earth.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this is when the symbiote suit attaches to Peter is during the Secret Wars storyline.
Gotcha.
And then it comes back from there to Earth after that wraps. Okay. And then I don't know how long it was on him until Marvel decided like, we got to do a storyline with this. And then Venom was created from there. And it was like,
oh, interesting.
You know, it was an alien thing, but the idea of it being a like corrupting force and then becoming like taking over Eddie Brock and becoming Venom, that came later. But I'm pretty sure that Secret War, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Secret War was the moment that the symbiote first attaches to Spider-Man, because you get that famous cover. This is the famous cover. Yeah. It's like the first appearance of the black suit. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they're doing that. I don't know. I hesitate to believe it. But what do you want out of this character? Like Secret Wars aside, or included, it doesn't matter. Like where do you want to see them go from here? Like, are you in the camp of like, well, he's got to get with MJ and he's got to like.
They seem to imply he's going to get with MJ because, you know, we've got this teaser. The movie ends with him with Ned basically remembering who he is. Yeah. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I do think if they're going to do it, that was a good way to do it, where he just sort of does the handshake and he's like, maybe this will work. Yeah. If this doesn't work, then I'll drop it. Like I
need to know how that works before I judge it.
Sure. Because it's the implication obviously is he could go to MJ's and do some similar nonverbal cue and she'd remember him. Or something. Cause like, you know,
it would be convoluted to explain it this way, but it could be explained that the handshake was muscle memory that Ned can't explain. And the Peter was him realizing the name Peter is Spider-Man's name and him just realizing I just shook hands with Spider-Man, not, oh, I remember this entire life Peter. I had. Yeah. They could explain it away like that. Yeah. Like they could pick it right up and Ned just go, Peter? Yeah. Wait, how did I do that?
But it's there for a reason. At the same time, it's like, you know, he could have
I don't think they'll do that, but they could.
Right. Like he could have just said, because before that handshake happened, I just saw it as Peter is ready to make friends and he knows he likes Ned. So he's just going to start over with Ned.
Yeah.
But then it's like, that's not satisfying as an audience member. You want them to remember him. Yeah. I couldn't remember, like at the end of No Way Home, Dr. Strange is like, they're not going to remember you. Yeah. And, you know, the implication was that she was just like, yeah, just come find me and tell me. And then he decides not to at the end of the movie. And it's never really clear, like, well, what happens if he does? Does the sky open up again?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So like, what happens if he does? Since we did not decide that Zendaya and Jacob Batalon are not going to be in this movie. Like we're done. They're no longer characters in this universe. They're still in the franchise. So the only satisfying way to make that choice is they are going to remember him.
Sure.
The time to drop them was between these two movies and they didn't. Yep. So that tells me they're going to remember him. Yeah. I don't know how or why. The how is very important. And they could have not had that scene at all.
Remember, Ned also is magic. He can use the sling ring. He has that.
But they could also drop that, but maybe they didn't. I don't know. Sure. I don't know. So like, there's got to be some the other shoe dropping on that. Like again, the implication of that tease is it is possible to get them to remember him without showing them a bunch of like physical proof that they know each other and them just believing him. It's got to come back organically. Yeah. So if he can do it with Ned, the implication is there is a way to get MJ to remember him.
Sure.
We don't know when we're going to get that. We don't know if that's going to be Secret Wars, if it's going to be in a 5th Spider-Man movie.
Yep.
We just don't know. And I can see them not showing it in until a 5th Spider-Man movie, just to withhold that for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
What I want out of the franchise is I think it'll end with, at some point, Miles Morales enters the chat.
Yeah.
And then he becomes our franchise's, the new Sony Spider-Man. Now we're going to do Miles Morales live action movies, but that would have to happen. Like, from a corporate business side, you've got to put out that 3rd Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah.
And then after that, you've got to stop making those.
Yeah.
Because you can't have 2 Spider-Man franchises with Miles Morales going with different storylines.
Yeah.
So Miles Morales has to become part of the MCU. What does that look like? Who is it? I'm not really interested in who plays him, because that doesn't matter as much. It's then, well, what happens to Peter?
Yeah.
Is Peter also there? Is he dead? What's going on? So it's like, that's where it's going, because that's where it should go. We've had 3 different Peter Parkers.
Yeah.
And maybe you introduce, and we know that Sony has to keep making Spider-Man movies or they'll lose the rights. So they're going to keep making Spider-Man movies out the wazoo.
Yeah.
So at some point it is, something's got to happen to Tom Holland's Peter Parker and Miles Morales, or they're just going to do a shitload of movie and Tom Holland's going to do this till he's 40. Yeah. I don't know. I'm fine with 2 more Spider-Man movies solo and some Avengers movies with Tom Holland, because I want to see an adult Peter Parker who has relationships, who has a family. I want to see Peter as somebody my age. I want to see whenever they, like, the game, that's older Peter Parker. I want to see, Peter Parker from Spider-Verse, the Chris Parnell, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Chris Star Trek, Chris, Captain Kirk.
You're talking about Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, and he was a Peter.
Yeah.
I
forgot he played Peter. Yeah.
The Chris Pine Peter that dies in the beginning of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That was 30-year-old Peter Parker. I'm interested in that, because that's more that speaks more to what I feel like my life experience than high school Peter Parker. We've had that, and now we have young adult Peter Parker. I want to see I want to see adult Peter Parker, and whether that is to wrap up Tom Holland's time as Spider-Man or to transition to Miles Morales. Maybe Peter retires. Maybe he turns 30 or 35 or 40, and he's like, shit, this is difficult even for me.
Doing this. Yeah. So here's where I would go with that. So what I want is pretty much exactly what you just said. I want Peter to grow and mature. And I've said this about Superman. I've said this about Batman. Eventually, these characters have to become fathers or mentors. Like, that has to happen. And so, to me, the way you do this is you make another film. And in this 5th film, you can have your moment where Zendaya or MJ remembers Peter and, all that, whatever. I don't care. But their romance is rekindled, and they decide, like, it moves quickly this time, and this is it. Like, we're in love. It's going to be marriage. It's going to be kids. It's going to be whatever it is. Right. But they're all in. And at the same time,
do a time jump.
Sure. And at the same time, Peter is, because theoretically he's still playing like 25, right? So you could time jump 5 years feasibly and reach Tom's actual age.
Yeah.
But the point is, I think you introduce Miles, and he's more of a contemporary of Peter, but not the same age as Peter, but not super duper young. He's not also in high school.
No, he's 20 something.
Yeah. Same as like the Insomniac version, right?
Yeah.
It's more of a contemporary. He looks up to Peter. Peter's his mentor. He knows he needs somebody to guide him because he's got these spider powers and blah, blah, blah. And so for a time, you have 2 Spider-Men. You have Peter and you have Miles, and they're both Spider-Man, and they're both in New York, and they're both doing their own thing, and it's great and it's cool and it's fun. And that's what I want. Then by the end of whatever. In maybe the sixth film or whatever it is, you cap this trilogy off with Peter and MJ voluntarily moving away from New York because she's pregnant and she's going to have a child. And what I would do, Mayday, and what I would do is you focus on the theme of with great power comes great responsibility, but now from a different angle. My responsibility, my chief responsibility will be as a dad.
To my family.
It won't be to New York anymore.
Yeah.
It can't be.
And so they have Spider-Man.
Correct. And they have a Spider-Man. Yeah. I've trained him. I've done what I need to do. I've used my powers responsibly. Yeah. Now I take a step back and I protect my family and I raise my daughter. Yeah. And that's what I do. And he's a scientist. He's still using his intellect for the greater good. He's just not Spider-Man anymore.
He sends the Avengers emails.
Sure. Every once in a while.
Here's that sample.
Yeah, exactly.
Tom Holland can pop in and out of movies as needed, but he's not wearing the suit. He lives in Cleveland now.
Yeah, he's completely removed. Yeah. And he and MJ and Ned went with him and Uncle Ned and
Uncle Ned.
And they're all happy and fine and great, but they're not in New York. And in New York, you launch your new series with Miles, Donald Glover's Prowler, like Uncle Aaron is, an integral part. I really thought I'm dumb. I didn't look at who she was playing, but I thought Liza Colon-Zayas in this film, who plays the chief of police. The chief of police. I thought she was going to end up being Miles's mother.
Oh, okay.
And didn't happen. Whatever. Yeah. But I also didn't know she was going to be chief of police. I just thought she's just going to be a random woman that Peter saves, and she's like, "I've got a son," and that's whatever. My expectations were really low for this, apparently. And then the series moves forward with Miles in the title role. He's Spider-Man, and everything moves forward with Miles. Again, Peter can pop in; it doesn't matter. And maybe eventually, way down the road, we can do another film with two Spider-Men. And Peter comes out of retirement. He's got a beard. He's doing fine. And he's Spider-Man again for a minute. And that's fine. And you can do a Death of if you want to. I'd rather you not. Death of works well for Superman. I don't think it works as good for Spidey.
The thing is, and this is where the comics and just the movies are just obviously inherently different. Like the comics can go on forever. You can do the Death of, you can do a universe reset, and Marvel, whatever. But Peter, that is a way to just write him gracefully out of the franchise in a way that's not a disservice to his character and allows the franchise itself to continue. And for that character to actually retire without a sad storyline where he just ends up dying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then just a widow.
Yeah,
Bye, Zendaya. You're a widow now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just not that's not happy.
I love the idea of watching Peter get everything he wants and get it ripped away from him. I don't like for him to suffer.
No.
And so what I want is when Peter finally decides that there's a responsibility in his life greater than that of New York City.
Yeah.
I think at that point, the suffering can be over, and now he's reaping the rewards of a life well lived.
Yeah,
the responsibility well worn, and so to me, at that point, he gets a great job. He's not just he's not struggling to pay the bills anymore.
Yeah.
He's doing good. Everything's great. He's a scientist. He's using his intellect. He's got his spider powers still in his back pocket for, when he's in the lab and he needs a vial from over there and he brings it to himself, and that's great. And when he's trying to sneak out of the bedroom so Mayday doesn't wake up, and he puts her to bed and then climbs on the wall to get out. Yeah. Great. Love all this.
Yeah.
That's how I would do it. And I don't care. Like, everyone always wants to go, well, what's the future of Spider-Man? And then start naming villains. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't, would I love to see Kraven and Spider-Man together? Yes. Not the version of Kraven we've seen, but a new version. Would I love to see Spider-Man with actually fight Rhino? Sure.
You could have all that with Miles Morales.
Have all of that with Miles. And you just don't need it. And so that's where I go with all of this. I think that's the future of it. Are there any other specific Spider-Man storylines I'd love to see them adapt? I've always loved the idea of the Man Spider. We can't really get close to that now because of this film. And I've always loved the idea of the Clone Saga. It's a divisive storyline, but I've always kind of, it's just bonkers and it doesn't really work. And that's why I love it. But I think you could do a really cool version of it and get Tom Holland to play a dual role as himself and his clone. But I don't see that happening either. Instead, I just want them to do a straight up film where he's with Miles and then a film where he leaves Miles. And then that's it. That's all Tom's got to do. And he can bow out gracefully. So that's what I want for the future of this. And then eventually, way down the road, who cares? Yeah. We'll reboot it and we'll either get another big screen or we can do a small screen Spidey that incorporates all the things that you've always loved. It's true Spidey in high school with MJ and Gwen and Harry and Flash and do it all again.
Yeah.
But for now, like give me 2 more Tom Holland movies, 3 Miles movies, and a bunch of crossovers. And that's all I need.
The X-Men. The choices with Jean Grey in this movie, probably give us a little bit of a hint of what, the approach to that's going to be. I think I read somewhere that because I remember I thought okay, well, this X-Men is a chance for them to not centerpiece Wolverine. Yeah. Because he never really was supposed to be the leader or the main character of that franchise. He just kind of was.
Yeah. He's the most popular. So,
but it's undeniable that Wolverine's cool. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to not do that, but but it's not to say that Wolverine isn't or shouldn't be or won't be cool in the new X-Men. Yeah. But if you read the X-Men or you watch the animated series or X-Men 97, that Cyclops and Jean Grey are the main characters. They're the 2 main X-Men, but it's a true ensemble. Yeah. And the Fox movies never did that quite right. I was thinking okay, if they start dropping these announcements, I'm going to see who's playing Wolverine. And then I read somewhere that Wolverine may not even be in this first X-Men movie.
Sure.
It could because he kind of, it's probably going to be the true founding of the X-Men. Jean obviously has not met Charles Xavier yet. Yeah. And it's implied in this movie that she's headed upstate. Yeah. Just because she's on a bus and there's orange trees.
I fully believe that this event is what leads to Xavier going, Jean, come see me.
Need some guidance. Yeah. So we're going to probably get Xavier, Jean, Scott.
Yeah.
And who knows who else?
Beast. Yeah.
Maybe Beast. Right. So we probably are not going to know who is playing Wolverine for a while. What we do know is that obviously he's going to be in the movies. Yeah. So that means somewhere in the universe, he is alive right now. Yeah. And maybe he's just fucking running around Canada being a loner.
He's presumably been alive for a while.
Yeah, exactly. He's somewhere, he's 200 years old and he is, but he is obviously, why would he be involved in any of the events that we have previously seen on screen, because it's not his fucking problem. And
he's logging somewhere.
Yeah, he's just somewhere keeping to himself and trying not to be too sad. So I mean, I'm looking forward to that, but that's not probably anywhere on the horizon. And they're kind of still not done with Hugh Jackman. I think there's some people think he's going to be in Doomsday. He's just probably not announced yet.
It's possible.
And so they're gonna kind of play him off the screen before they give us a new one.
Yeah. I hope that Wolverine is in the beginning of whatever this is, because I do think that, to me, and I've never read an X-Men comic, so I'm about to lose all my credentials here. Sure. But I haven't, and so to me, it seems like the classic lineup includes Wolverine, and I would love to see his introduction in the first film. I think we saw X-Men First Class. The Fox movies are a different thing, and obviously that didn't go very well because I feel like I just didn't care for any of those characters.
Yeah.
could they do it right this time? Sure. But I am hesitant to say, like, do an X-Men movie without Wolverine, because he's just so synonymous with the X-Men to me.
Or put him at the end. Like,
put him at the end,
tease him, like definitely put him in the second one. Like, I understand if you want to establish this team without leaning on Wolverine, then there's more story real estate to build the relationships without Logan in the mix. So I'm sort of in the camp of, okay, fine, don't introduce them. That's cool, because whatever they're doing, these are very young characters. Like, Jean's like 16 in this movie or whatever. Yeah. So like, whatever they're doing is like, all right, this is like foundational X-Men stuff. Obviously, like, they are students. Like, she's not the Jean who's gifted a teacher youngsters. Yet. Yeah, they're gifted youngsters. And so obviously, like, but you could have Wolverine show up when they're still that age. It doesn't have to be when they're adults or whatever. That's all unpaved or wet cement, you know? Yeah. I'd be in favor of waiting for Wolverine, but I wouldn't like make us wait for a third movie before you give us the most popular of the characters.
I agree with you. It's got to be like at the end of the first film. You know, that kid from Spider-Man 2 says, "We found something," and it's his the Weapon X lab. yeah, exactly. No, I think it's you know, like a post credits or like a mid credits thing. Yeah, where everyone's like studying in class and Charles is just like, "Jean, would you go get the door, please?" Mm-hmm. And she like walks out and like opens the door and just like cigar smoke hits her and you don't see who it is, but yeah. Oh God. She's just like, "Hello?
Can I help you?"
And he's like, "Hey, bub." And then cut to black, and that's it. And like, you won't even know who they've cast.
Which one of you assholes is Charles Xavier?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hey, I'm a gifted youngster.
Or like, there's something going on at that lab or whatever, and it's just a scene where you never see his face, but it's clearly Wolverine just killing all the scientists. Yeah. Like, oh shit.
I mean, he could be. Honestly, Weapon X could be the climax of the film. Like,
he could be a villain.
He could be the villain.
They could make him, a villain.
Yeah, like they get dispatched to, you know, wherever it is.
Yeah,
at the end of the film. Yeah, and then he does the thing. And starts running around naked.
Yeah. Although if you follow the comics, that would have happened in like the 80s or whatever. Totally. So like I'm in, I don't want to talk about Wolverine too much, but I'm intensely curious who they're going to cast. They obviously need to cast somebody young, but they can't be like a babyface young person. Yeah. I mean, there's a list of people and they're all good choices, to be honest. You know, whoever they can feed testosterone
to. Whoever it is. Here's what I'm going to say. Whoever it is, I do not envy that person.
No.
You will be compared till you're dead to Hugh Jackman. Yep. And in that moment where they announce you as Wolverine, you will not be accepted.
You know, it'd be really cool.
Well, who's that?
Not who, but like what would be really cool is if they, and I don't, not that this is a big deal, but it would be cool to cast an actual Canadian.
Sure. Yeah.
To be honest, I want them to cast a complete unknown for the role.
Sure.
Like, I love Taron Egerton. That's one of those like the popular casts.
Yeah.
But if it was him, I'd be a little disappointed. Like, they picked Taron Egerton.
Yeah. Or people want Daniel Radcliffe or whatever. And it's just like,
the same thing. It's like, and with that'd be more of an interesting choice to me because it's like, Daniel Radcliffe can handle the fame.
Yeah, totally.
You know, but like with this Ryan Gosling Ghost Rider, it's like, that's cool. But that was like him and Mahershala Ali for Blade, which I guess isn't happening anymore. Yeah. That was like those were like fans, like this should be the person. And it felt like they were just listening to the fans too much.
Yep.
It remains to be seen with Ryan Gosling. Again, probably never will be with Mahershala Ali.
Right.
But like, if they cast Taron Egerton, I wouldn't be like, oh, bad choice. I would just be like, oh, uninspired choice, perhaps, or something. Sure. I want them to show me Wolverine and me to go, who the fuck is that? You know?
Exactly. Here's what you don't do.
Yeah.
You do not go to San Diego Comic-Con and go, ladies and gentlemen, your new Wolverine, and bring him out that way.
Nope.
Don't do, you put out, you say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special video presentation for you. Mm-hmm. Clip. And it's a highly polished introduction of that character, just owning some fools.
Yeah. Right.
And you got to build the goodwill immediately. It's got to look cool.
Yep.
You got to see him in costume. You got to see everything.
Yeah.
And that's the only chance you have at like winning people over. You can't just bring Taron Egerton on stage or D-Rad on stage and go, here he is.
Yeah. Comic-Con's so awkward.
Yeah.
Comic-Con, it's just people, just jokes and one-liners and like, it's just like, just show us the footage. And like those of us at home who can't watch the footage, like, you know, you put it out and then you release the casting announcement like an hour after Hall H panel so that we at least know who is playing Wolverine.
Yep.
And then it's accompanied with, there was footage played and it looked super
great.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. And you build hype because people have seen it and they will validate that it's cool. You just have to wonder at home because you're too poor to go to Comic-Con.
That's right. Yeah.
You have to just take their word for it. But that builds buzz.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they've got a really good. I mean, I don't know who they would cast as like Xavier. I mean, the person who popped in my mind was like Ralph Fiennes.
Sure.
Like someone who's old but not elderly now.
Yeah.
Who could play this character for a while and will probably be asked to play this character for a while.
Yeah.
Be cool to see Ralph Fiennes play a good guy in a big franchise. Sure. Be more hilarious if Daniel Radcliffe is Wolverine. They're just going to bicker.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so it probably won't be both of them.
No.
But I just thought, like, you know, you can't cast James McAvoy's too young to play Charles Xavier. And that always bothered me. He's just too fucking young. I don't want to see young Charles before he was in a wheelchair. Just put him in the wheelchair, shave his head, and he's at least 45.
I love
he needs to
James
feel like
McAvoy.
A paternal figure.
Yeah, I love James McAvoy, but you're right. He has to have a paternal nature to him, which James McAvoy doesn't have.
Does not have.
And he also has to have an intense gravity.
Yes.
Not just to like your voice. Because like in the moments where you're like just hearing Charles's voice in someone's head, that voice has to hit hard.
Yeah.
So you got to have the voice and you got to have like the gravity to own a scene without standing up.
Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah. It's like steely. Like,
you know what?
You gotta
He's my
have
choice. Ralph Fiennes.
Okay.
And he's already bald.
I don't know if I have a choice.
You don't, Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I don't know who I'd go with, but yeah, I think that's.
I do think that Xavier could or should be a well-known actor.
Sure,
I think because that just brings history and trust and gravity with it.
Yes,
I'm glad the X-Men. I mean, Sadie Sink, obviously people know, but like she's not like a mega star.
Yeah.
You know, but like I think with like Cyclops and Wolverine and other actors, it's like you can kind of let them be unknowns and let them, you know, just have them come to the character with a blank. Like let them just be the character because the text will speak for them. Yeah. You know, but with Xavier, it's like you need immediately to understand why he's so wise and powerful and smart. And so it does make sense for that to be a big name actor to me, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on the X-Men.
Yeah, I would agree, but I hope they do something cool with them. Doomsday notwithstanding, we got to be done with the Fox movies. Like I've burned through every bit of goodwill I have with that at this point.
People are saying that the with putting Xavier and Magneto it's elder abuse. And like in the Doomsday trailer, the first shot of Patrick Stewart you see is literally a bright light shining in his face and him going, and it's like,
right.
Yeah. Why are you doing that to that poor guy?
Yeah. Dude's ancient, man.
And like, I get it, but the Fox X-Men's inclusion in Doomsday, I'm sure it'll serve a story, line and everything. And it's again, with Deadpool, it's like, it really kind of ignited like the whole like love letter to the Fox movies. And so I get it. And I'm sure the text will justify it and it'll be fine. But there is a part of you that's just like, good grief.
Yeah.
Let these men retire.
I know.
And even Kellen didn't even cut his hair. So he uses this long nursing home hair.
Yep.
It's like, come on.
Yep.
So whatever. They'll do stuff and it'll be cool, hopefully. I mean, I thought the last time I'd see him as Magneto was Days of Future Past. And even then I was like, this guy's getting old. You know, like this, it's a thing. So yeah, and like obviously, and very well could be that Doomsday is the last time we see the Fox X-Men, because if my theory is right and they release the MCU X-Men movie in 2027, the Fox X-Men need to be done.
Yep.
We need to be ready to see new X-Men.
Yep.
And so I fully believe that this is the last time we're seeing any of them.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they're all dying.
Yeah.
Or something. They must be dying.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yep.
Which means if Wolverine is in the movie and he is yet to be announced, Hugh Jackman is dying as well.
Yeah.
For real this time.
We'll see.
So right. But like, you've got to close it out. And this is how they close it out. Doomsday, people are talking about how, and I don't know if this is like official or not, but how it's supposed to be like a big reset for the MCU.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean? Does that mean you are literally rebooting the universe? But you can't reboot the universe because of this movie.
Yes.
We've got the new X-Men in here. So you can't reboot the movie, you can't reboot the universe, but exclude Peter Parker and Jean Grey.
Right.
And Hulk, who knows Iron Man. Right. And the Punisher. There's too many characters in this movie that would just be erased.
Yeah.
One of which who is definitely going to show up in another film.
Yeah.
Two of which, Spider-Man's being Secret Wars.
Yep.
So like, you're not resetting the universe.
Correct.
Was it a business term? What's happening to all of our heroes? What's happening to Paul Rudd? What's happening to Anthony Mackie?
Yeah. Who knows?
Are they just not getting movies anymore? How? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know. There are rumors that Doomsday is a big ass mess that they are trying to save in the edit.
Yeah.
And that, it's a very desperate, cynical film. Those are said by quote unquote insiders at Marvel. Who knows if that's true? It could be the opposite. Like that it looks really weird on paper, but it's actually going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
It could be either. It's best not to speculate, I guess.
Here's where I'm at with it. Like, the only thing I can say for certain is they released a trailer. I watched the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I felt nothing toward the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I have no clear indication of what the stakes are, what from what we've seen carries over into it. It feels just completely removed.
Mm-hmm.
Like Shang-Chi's in it, but does Shang-Chi's story have anything to do with this?
Yeah.
Like, no. And so, like, although it's to be argued, like, well, did First Avenger have anything to do with it? Well, yeah, it introduced the Tesseract. Like, like there are things that went into play later, and maybe this will, but it just feels like I just have nothing to grab onto. Like, oh, it built to this, or okay, I see where they're going, and with Secret War, they're clearly going to. I just have nothing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, and I feel like even if I read the comics, I would have nothing. So I just have no clue what to expect. And I'll be really honest with you. If the idea is we're going to reboot the entire universe after even Secret War, if we're just going to like completely reboot everything, and then suddenly we're going to have like a new Captain America, I'm going to have a problem with that.
Yeah, same.
Like, oh, here's a new Iron Man. Okay, I got a problem with this.
I don't want that. Yeah.
I would rather you just stop making movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have no interest in going. I know we just said, like, do all the miles and then come back to Peter. Peter is Spider-Man's evergreen.
Yeah.
But like, some of these characters are not evergreen.
Yeah.
Like, do I ever want to see another Captain Marvel movie with a different person in that role? No. I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, like, there's nothing there to grab hold of.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, if what they're headed toward is a full reboot, to me that signals desperation.
I'm giving up.
The only characters that will make us money are the characters we've already established.
Right.
And And you know what? That might be true because Marvel has been using those same characters for 70 years and they're creating new characters, but guess who they always keep coming back to? The same ones. Yep. And it's the same thing with DC. They keep creating new characters, but guess who they keep going back to? Batman. Yep. So it doesn't matter. Like, again, but like movies are different because this isn't an ongoing thing and it can't be indefinite.
Right.
In the comics, you can draw Captain Rogers at 35 forever.
Yeah.
In live action, you can't. You have to have like, what do? Do you James Bond it and suddenly he's just always 35 as a different actor?
Right.
That's boring to me. Like all of this, it works for Bond, but that's a different story. But like, it's boring to me. So I just have no interest in it anymore. And like my patience for the endless cycle of reboots is just wearing so thin. So if the idea is like, I expect you to care about a brand new Thor in a few years. Nope. I'm not going to.
I don't. Yeah. You gave me 15 years of this Thor.
Yeah.
I'm just supposed to let go of that?
I think the only way you could feasibly do that is you say Chris Hemsworth in Doomsday is roughly, because that's the word they always use, roughly the same age as he was in the original Thor film.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we know like he's not because Chris Hemsworth is aged, but the character's the same. And then you just recast him as a new person, James Bond style. That's the only way that this reboot really works is it carries all of the baggage that we've established. Like that's why the comics work for 70 years. It's the same story.
Yeah.
Right. It's the longest running serialized story in history. That's what this should be. Don't reboot it and give me another Thor origin story and more Thor and Loki played by different actors doing things in their early days. Like, I don't want it either, but just like give me a different actors in the same role at the same age and but the stories that we've already seen still happened.
Yeah.
And just keep it going. But they've already screwed the pooch on that because they can't do it because we've already established that these characters are aging and that time is moving.
Yeah.
It's not like the sliding scale of comics.
Right. The time to have done it would have been when you were making it in the initial movies. You recast them in every film.
Or the time to do it would have been after Infinity War when you could feasibly get away with the idea, or Endgame, when you can feasibly get away with the idea that maybe actually in story, there's only been like 3 years that have passed.
Sure. We know that like big corporations don't care that that believable story dynamics around making films. The road to that leads to you have to end things before you would like to stop making money from them.
Yeah.
But that just remains the reality. And, you know, the commerce can continue, but someone has to say, and hopefully that someone is Kevin Feige has to say, we do that by introducing new characters and finding ways to retire the old ones.
Yes.
And we just, it's Marvel has so many characters and like, you know, you made Iron Man into the centerpiece of this franchise. There was a time where someone would have thought that was very unlikely to happen.
Yes.
You can do the same thing.
Yes.
You know, and
you
like,
just have to have care.
You have to have care, but like, we don't want to see the Steve Rogers storyline again. That's done. We're fine with the Sam Wilson one. We're fine with what's his face? Steve Rogers' kid. Like, fine. He becomes Captain America. Great.
Yep.
That's fine too.
Yep.
You can still have Captain America. He's still a Rogers.
Yep.
He's just this one now.
Yeah. Like they're doing with T'Challa.
Yeah. Like that's exactly right. Like they've cast the next Black Panther, you know? And so the only way you can do that obviously is a time jump.
Yes.
So obviously there's a time jump that's going to happen after Secret Wars because that's probably when Black Panther 3 is going to take place.
Right. Because
so there's going to be a time jump. So you're not going to, so you've either, by the time jump, you've either retired characters like Thor and Steve Rogers and other people, Ant-Man, you know, like, and that's got to be the only way they can do it is they just do a big time jump and all of the main big heroes have literally just aged out of their roles and they're either in future movies in a mentor role or they're not. And they have passed the torch to other people because if some big universe reset where just suddenly we have new faces and we're younger, or we just never existed at all. That's fucking bullshit.
But I think that's what they're going to do. And here's my thought as to why. They've tried the other. She-Hulk, unfortunately, like I never saw it, but unfortunately that proved to them that these characters can't be mentors in another character's story. And be accepted by the public. Name another time that happened, and it happened successfully within the MCU. I there's not one.
Yeah.
And so to them, you have to think, unfortunately, what the executives are looking at, Feige has more of a creative spirit about him. I think he does. Yeah. But the executives are looking at it going, hey, Spider-Man just made $1 billion in 3 days. We're never not doing Spider-Man movies,
right?
With Peter Parker,
yeah,
and that means Tom is going to age out, so we're just going to recast,
right?
And that's going to be the norm, and so that's what's going to happen. If Doomsday makes $1 billion in 3 days, I think it's unlikely, but if it does, then what's going to happen is all of the money grubbing folks up there in the boardroom are going to say, hey, people really like these characters. Mm-hmm. Don't ever let them stop.
Right.
And that's going to be the answer.
More Dr. Doom.
Yeah. They want more Doom. They want more Strange. They want more Thor. And then eventually Hemsworth is going to go, hey, dude, I'm done. I'm not doing anymore.
Yeah, I'm 40.
And you know what they're going to do? They're going to go, okay.
Yeah.
They're going to go, Chris, do you have another brother that can do this? But they're going to go, we need somebody younger. And they're just going to cast another dude.
That's the problem with this model is just if you do say, we'll just recast, then it does create a big problem because it's then integrating is hard because we're talking and that's the thing, that's the path of least resistance is just to recast. It keeps your actors disposable. It allows you to continue storylines without affecting other movies where the actors are returning to play their roles.
Yeah.
And you can invest in someone who's younger and more physically able to handle doing these roles for a long period of time. But that's just such a lesser experience. It'd be so much better to just wrap up what we've got or transition older people out. And that's just what you got to do. And you've got to find ways of doing that. You got to find a way to make the mentor angle work. You've got to find a way to say, hey, you're allowed to step away from your role. Thor, son of Odin, at a certain point, you're allowed to stop being a superhero. And maybe it is, they have to appoint a successor.
Yeah.
And maybe he goes, hey, I've got my friend Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
He's coming in.
Yep.
Or whatever, but not even a character with the same power set, just hey, Howard the Duck, he's my guy.
Yeah.
And it's okay, now Howard the Duck is part of the Avengers. Okay.
Yep. There you go. Well, here's what they should do. And this would be my preferred route. My preferred route is they reach a logical and satisfying conclusion wherein some characters retire, some characters die, some characters continue forever. Yeah. And they end the story and they never pick it up again.
Yeah.
That's my preferred ending. That will never happen because of money, but that's the preferred ending. That's the ending with integrity. Everything knows inherently when it's played out. You should understand, right? Seinfeld knew this show is done, even though I'm getting huge offers for $1 billion for another. I'm not taking it. Because the show has run its course. You have to know when you're done. How many novelists have sat out and written out a series of books and then ended it? It's novels, literature is the only thing that can end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even that's questionable now, but but it can end, right? Obviously, big example. J.K. Rowling,
Harry Potter.
Ended Harry Potter. She could have milked that thing forever.
Yeah,
but ended it. Whatever, say whatever about, but there's creative integrity there, if nowhere else. But the idea of this story is now complete. is gone. And that sucks because it leaves us in this weird limbo where I'm expected when I'm in the nursing home, there's going to be another Thor movie, and that's exhausting.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Sit with my great grandchild and go, oh, let's watch Thor 87 starring another new person.
Yeah.
Or another Thor origin.
Which
I remember when Natalie Portman played that role.
You can't. She's been dead for 50 years.
Who, Dad? Yeah, you might as well have just said freaking Rita Hayworth.
Right.
Yeah.
And the grandson. The thing about this too is you can't enjoy this film if you haven't seen the very first Thor that came out in 2010.
Yeah. In order to jump
enjoy
in
this
now,
film far downstream of many other films is to watch all those other films.
You're now 10, the perfect age to watch all of the Marvel movies. Sit down, you'll be done when you're 87. It's insanity.
Yeah.
Like, just let it be done. Like, there's enough story told. Like, look, Lord, I love superhero stories.
Yeah.
But Marvel has had more than enough screen time to tell the story it wants to tell.
Right. That's the thing. It's just like, if nothing else, it's inefficient to do it. Like, you have to look at the totality of what you've done for 18 years.
Yeah.
These films have been coming out.
Yes.
And coming out the way that they would have liked. And only in 2018, 2019, did they finally get hold of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, now we want to put all those in our movies. It's like, the problem, buddy, those characters are starting to appear 15 years, 18 years into this experiment. Yeah. And you're still trying to hold on to characters that you created when Barack Obama was still president.
And characters that you didn't create, that someone else created, and that studio is now bankrupt, and you're still using those characters.
Right. So like, it does.
When George Bush was president.
My hope is that Kevin Feige and the other like executives at Marvel.
Yeah.
I would hope that they feel the same way we do.
Yeah.
And that they have long known that the way to satisfy the fans would be to do that, to end these stories, and that they have convinced Disney that there is a profitable way for them to do it.
Sure.
Like, obviously these are two separate problems. We want to do this. Yeah. This is what's potentially in the way. How do we solve this problem? And it will not work unless we convince Disney that it will make them money. So how do we actually ensure that's going to happen? And then we do that.
But here's how that scene plays out in the boardroom. Kevin Feige stands up and says, here's my pitch. We end after Secret Wars. That's the end of our story. We've told everything we want to tell. We're done. That's it. There's no more. But it'll live on in merchandising, and we'll do a theme park, and it'll be great. And we'll do some comic books or some animated spinoffs and whatever. But like, it's done, right?
Yeah.
It's done. Here's the plan. And all that's going to happen is there's one dude at the head of that table who stands up and pushes Feige into a corner, and Walter Whites him and goes, "We're done when I say we're done."
It's Mickey.
And that's it. Yeah, it's Mickey.
When I say we're done.
Say my name. And Mickey.
You're Mickey. You're goddamn right.
That's exactly what it is. And that's the scene. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I look at like what's planned, like what Marvel has planned for, and it's fewer shows.
Yeah.
And refocusing on movies. So that's a good step.
Sure.
But what do we have? We have the X-Men. Yeah. We've got Ghost Rider. Got Black Panther 3.
Yeah.
And that's all I know is confirmed. I mean, the presumption is there will be more Spider-Man movies, but they have not been announced.
Yeah. Oh, they will be.
So there's stuff that they've probably planned and have made arrangements for, but they're not going to tell us about that until Doomsday has come out, probably.
Sure. Yep.
Definitely Secret Wars.
Yep.
I mean, that next year where we're getting an X-Men film and Secret Wars at least.
Yep. I say all of that, and I also on the other foot have this shoe that goes, hey, if I had a thing that someone would give me $1 billion for, I'm gonna keep making that thing.
Sure.
But I'm also like, at some point, man, how many billions of dollars do you need?
Oh, how many you got? You got some with you now?
You got some
hand them
billions?
over. Last thing I'll say, it's so what they're doing in September is this Endgame Encore thing.
Yeah.
Which at the time of this recording, we still don't know how long that's going to be in theaters.
Yeah.
All we know is that they are putting Avengers Endgame back in theaters, and that there is going to be some added footage that the Russos say is critical to understanding Doomsday, which has led many to speculate on what that footage could be, and then others to go, that's stupid. Why do I need to see other footage to understand your movie? Yeah. That's part of what is feeding the narrative that Doomsday is a mess. It's like they don't want to spend any more screen time on connective tissue, so they're just going to inject it into this Endgame Encore thing. And who knows? We
filmed this and it doesn't work in the final edit, so we have to find a place for it.
Yeah, but it's too important, so we need to find a place for it.
Yeah.
So like, and where do you put an Endgame? Is it just is it an extended epilogue? Is it like a 7-minute epilogue?
Well, I'll tell you what I heard.
Okay.
What I heard is that it is the entire journey of Steve returning the stones.
I've heard that is, I've heard that as well.
But that's only like 12 minutes or whatever.
Right.
And it's
so
a very
it
short,
is an extended epilogue.
It's an extended epilogue of him going back through time.
Because that has nothing to do with Endgame. It has nothing to do with that story.
Correct.
And it's like, I get why they wouldn't just put that on Disney Plus. Like, well, let's make some money out of it, you know? Yeah. Because it serves all of it serves several purposes. It gets people back in the theaters to watch Endgame. It pushes the box office of Endgame back up to where it can become the biggest movie in the world. Yeah. Although, does it count as Avengers Endgame? I guess it does.
Sure.
So there's that.
Why not just release it before? This is dumb, but why not just release it as a short film in theaters before Doomsday?
Oh yeah, do you know how many screens you could sell out for like a 12-minute short film?
Actually, better idea.
Okay.
It's behind a paywall on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But the paywall ain't cheap. You want it, it's $50. You know what I mean? We're talking like a full video game price tag on this.
Sure.
You're going to love this. It's 12 minutes. It's $50.
$50. Cash or credit? I don't want to see it because I'm against such things.
Yeah.
I'm going to find it hard not to if it truly, but then again, I kind of want to see Doomsday.
Yeah.
And if I walk away feeling like something's missing and it was in that short, my impression is going to be, well, too bad.
It's not in this movie.
Too bad. That's not my problem.
Yes.
I missed the part where that's my problem. Yeah. Like why? Why is it on me to do all of this? Like I understand there are some things that are in other movies that feed into this. Yeah. But if there's a part of this movie that you threw into another movie and I didn't watch that other movie and I watched your movie and it doesn't work because that part's in another movie, that's your fucking fault. That's your fuck up. Not
but doesn't
mine.
It also show you like how unimportant every film since Endgame is? That they're going all the way back to Endgame to put new footage in that, and not new footage anywhere else.
People were saying it was like a white flag. Like we acknowledge that nothing we've made since 2019 matters.
Yeah.
It's like, that's depressing and a little shocking on your part to admit that. I hope it's just a cynical cash grab that's fun, but it carries no way. I'm hoping that Joe Russo just said that to get asses in seats for Disney.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he was just going out there, just doing what he was told to do and get people to come.
What, that it's integral?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like PR speak to me. It's integral. Sure. You have to see this in theater. You have to see it in Infinity Vision for $100,000.
Yeah.
Mortgage your home. But like it can't be important because it's not in your movie.
Yeah.
If your movie is a mess and somebody goes, taking this 12 minutes out is going to allow the audience to jump into Doomsday quicker, but you're going, it's important, then stand your ground and go, no, it's important to my film and it's going to be in my film.
I would think that
you
at
have
this
that
point
power
in the MCU, with Feige and with the Russos especially, not some like first-timer director with Marvel, if it were truly important to the film, the Russos would have said, look, it's staying in the film.
Yeah.
What do you care if the movie is 3.5 hours long versus 3 hours and 15 minutes long?
Right.
It's a long movie. It's a big-ass Avengers movie.
Yep.
It's going to be long. Deal with it.
Because here's the gamble. The gamble is, okay, what realistically, what percentage of the Doomsday audience is going to go see the encore?
I don't know that many will.
Let's say it's 50%.
Yeah, you're betting on a lot of people doing this at a time where you know that people are having a shitty time affording things.
Correct. 50% of your audience will do this. The other 50% won't. Now you're betting that on opening weekend, when Doomsday comes out, 50% of your audience goes, it's amazing, it's awesome, and the word of mouth spreads and people see it. But you're forgetting that 50% of your audience goes, it makes no sense and I don't understand it. And they tell their friends that.
Yeah.
And so now what's actually happening on week 2? Is it a huge drop because the word of mouth is it makes no sense?
And how many weeks did you put it in there? They still haven't said. Is this a 1-week engagement?
Correct.
Is this going to be for a month?
Yeah.
Or is there time for word of mouth to build?
Correct.
Like you've got to, the consensus was like, well, it makes sense to do it from 1 to 3 weeks. And I'm like, 1 week sounds like not a lot of time.
Yeah.
For someone to get out to the movies, like a month minimum.
Yeah.
Have that shit playing all the way until Doomsday comes out.
Like, I'm just speaking honestly here. It should be a free drop on Disney Plus.
It really should.
And or a minimal cost of like $10.
Yeah.
$5, $10. That's it. One time, you got it. It's yours. It's unlocked on your thing forever.
Yeah.
And that is because what are they hoping here? Like, they're hoping that they're going to make $1 billion on Endgame again. It's never going to happen. So do they need the money?
You don't need to build the anticipation to Doomsday. Like a really good Spider-Man movie just came out. Like people are excited and they have some faith in you.
Yeah.
That weekend, I won't be able to see it anyway.
Sure.
So if it's for 1 week, well, then I'm missing it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need somebody I trust to tell me it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
For me to go, okay, I'll pay money to see it then.
Sure.
And I guarantee you, one of the first things we're going to talk about when we talk about Doomsday is whether or not that shit mattered.
Yes. The idea of me sitting through an already long movie to get to the prize at the end, at the bottom of the box.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is just such a daunting thing. Like, will I rewatch Endgame before this comes out? Maybe.
Yeah.
But to feel like I have to, now it's homework and now it doesn't feel fun. And now I'm sitting in the theater poking holes in Endgame, which I already like less than Infinity War. And I'm just going to go, I'm just here for the end.
Well, and are they going to put Encore on Disney Plus eventually?
Who knows?
Like the way that they would any other Marvel movie? Will it just be on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
So can I just wait? Can I watch it later?
Could you theoretically buy a ticket to Endgame and just wait 2 hours and then go in the theater?
Right.
Or are you peppering things in throughout the film to make people go watch it? Like,
here's another possibility that would make the admission price worth it, but would break a lot of things. Do those things dramatically? Did you make big changes to Endgame? Like at the end, does Tony die?
Yeah, right.
What if he doesn't? What if they change that?
Yes.
Then it's like, well, that's interesting.
Yeah, now we're talking about something cool. It's like revisionist history.
Right. Does Doom like pause everything? Does he walk in and like change shit?
Yeah.
And it changes the future.
Right.
Well, then a couple of things. One, okay, you've earned my admission. You're right. Yeah. It is integral.
Yep.
That truly renders the post-Endgame films irrelevant.
Yep.
You're telling us, oh, yeah, watching those, that was stupid.
Yeah.
including the Spider-Man film you just put out.
Yeah.
2, it reverses earned story arcs. You director, the Russos are sullying your own film.
Yeah.
By undoing story decisions you agreed to make.
Yep.
I don't want to build up the Russos as like they're Steven Spielberg, like they're like the paragons of cinema, but they're two guys who take filmmaking seriously and storytelling seriously. And in the context of Disney and Marvel, they may as well be Steven Spielberg. They're directors who can and would tell the studio no, and can and did tell them that they were not coming back unless the story was right. And I recognize that maybe they needed the money or whatever else, but I fully believe the Russos wouldn't be back unless they were excited about these movies. Because even if the studio begged them to come back, they could have said no. They made a shitload of money as it was beforehand, and they only said like, we'd come back for Secret Wars. They're doing Secret Wars. So like, I believe the Russos want to be here, just like I believe that Downey wants to be here. And Chris Evans wants to be here. I don't want to believe, nor do I find it likely to believe that the only reason that those people are here is because of money. Because they are 4 people who truly don't need the money they were probably paid. You know, that's their representation jockeying for position while their popularity is in demand. So that's that thing. So I don't want to build it up like, oh, the Russo, like, you know, they're going to, they may as well be Jesus Christ. So I want to hope that they are not just willfully participating in essentially what is a grift.
Sure.
That would be very disappointing to me.
So here's what I would have done. Like your idea of like the story of Endgame changing.
Yeah.
Is the coolest idea, right? It makes it the most worthwhile that like there's some sort of like TVA level incident that things are changing. And so I'm like, well, how do you sell that to the audience as like, without saying like, this is Endgame, but it's different now. Like, I'm like, what do? You hire Ryan Reynolds to like Mystery Science Theater this thing, and like you have like the movie and then the seat back silhouette with you know, Deadpool
with
and
the katanas.
The katanas. And he's like, and then eventually like when things start spiraling and going in a weird direction, then Deadpool's like, hey, this isn't how it went. I've seen this movie before. This isn't right. And then he disappears and we're in the changed version. You know, and so you bill it as like, if you want to keep it a secret what it is, then you just bill it as this is Endgame, but the Deadpool commentary. And then it feels like a new experience until it's not. I don't know. Like, I just don't know. There's just no way to actually sell this.
Right. And I would like to think that there's going to be some trailer drop, maybe.
The Muppets should do commentary.
I would guess that you tease it, you tell people it's happening. And if you are smart, you have a trailer that more explicitly explains what people are going to be in for. Like if you're going to tell them like tell them with 12 minutes of added footage. Or say like, but not the end game you remember. Put something in the copy that tells me this is worth going to. Other than, hey, you're going to want to see this before Doomsday. Tell me why. I get if you don't want to spoil something.
Sure.
Tell me why. Sell me. That's your fucking job.
Well, put out a trailer that shows me like
something different.
10 seconds. But like something that's like the untold story of how Steve returned. Like give me the gist. Tell me what it is.
Give us 10 seconds of something that's different.
Worst case scenario, they're like, we found some deleted scenes and put them in there. And it doesn't actually change anything or do anything. It's just an extended edition. And then you're like, why?
Right. But like you said, if it's just an extended epilogue, it's just Steve putting the stones back. And then like he causes an incursion. Which what draws Doom into the fray. But so just say it's at the end of the film. Like just tell us. Just tell us what it is. You know,
but he causes an incursion. I don't know. Again, like anything that like if he does something that causes Doomsday, then again, every movie is worthless.
If he did, he looks awfully chipper about it in the Doomsday trailer.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a guy who just fucked up the entire universe.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So then it almost feels like it's not something that he did, but instead this is just like, I don't know. He's doing it and Doom's watching.
Yeah.
But nothing's actually like changing, or like he doesn't cause anything. Because again, if he causes it in Endgame, then why did I watch Shang-Chi?
Right.
Other than, I guess, to understand why Shang-Chi and Gambit are fighting.
Right. It can't be to undo anything we've seen because of things like that, because we have Shang-Chi and Gambit in the movie.
Yeah.
So it can't be an undoing, but it's most likely what you've heard. That's the only thing that makes sense. Is it's just,
who knows?
Steve putting the stones back has something to do with the plot of Avengers Doomsday, and also explains maybe why he's involved, because it's somewhat related to his actions. Otherwise, why in the world is he in this movie?
Yeah. Or even worst case scenario, everything we saw in Steve's teaser, that little like vignette of Steve returning home and baby and the cradle and whatever, like if that's what this is, you know what I mean? Like they've removed the exposition of what Steve, like all of Steve's backstory from Doomsday, and shoved it into the end of Endgame. And so it ends with like, you have the shot of Steve and Peggy dancing, fades in, he's coming home, he does the thing, Doom shows up, there's a fight scene, and then he's like, Doom's coming. And that's it. Like that's the worst case scenario, is it's mostly what we've already seen.
Yeah. Or, well, worst case scenarios, then we watch Doomsday and that scene's also in Doomsday. And it's like, oh, you didn't even cut anything.
Yeah, right.
You just gave us an early scene.
Exactly.
You made me pay for it.
Or it could be like all of those things. Doom comes in, there's a fight scene, Doom leaves, cut to X-Men, Doom comes in, it's that teaser, and then Scott Summers, and then cut out, boom, the next teaser, and it's just, I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like the more we talk about it, the more I don't want to go see it.
Yeah,
because
on principle.
Yeah, on principle, and just also like, no, if there is vital information and you didn't even bother to put it in your movie, and even to call back to it in exposition, like, when Steve put the stones back, he broke a thing, and then this is happening. It's like, okay, at least the information is there. And then if you tell me later that footage was in that thing, I'd be like, okay, fine. Yeah. Like at least the information wasn't absent.
Sure.
That still gets like a C- for me in terms of story execution, but at least you didn't completely rug pull me and leave out critical information I needed to know in order to understand this movie. That's right. I think to your point, I think it would be really stupid of them to put something in this encore to risk the audience missing that information, coming into Doomsday, not understanding something they claim is critical.
Yep.
And then coming out of the movie and going, this fucking movie sucks.
Yeah.
Don't go see it.
Right.
The last thing they need is any bad press for the bad word of mouth for this movie. That's especially if the rumors are it's a mess and they're fixing it in the edit.
That's right.
Well, definitely don't take information out of it and throw it into an encore presentation of your last big popular movie.
That's right.
Because just enough people may not see it to where you're self-fulfilled. You're going to create your own Doomsday.
That's right,
brother. That's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's it. We're about to enter. It's already a brand new day in Georgia, so we're gonna go.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, good discussion.
Yeah, man. Totally.
All right, everybody. Cheers.
Bye. It's been a long time since we did a State of Marvel.
We're not fucking around, buddy. This is the Hulk.
Hey, a Green Jay.